Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us at this very important consultation. The Ministry of Tourism and the Discover Dominica Authority, we are honored to host this consultation with the vacation rental owners. It is an event that is aimed at strengthening the role of vacation rentals in Dominica's tourism industry. Let me first recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister, Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, Odile John Baptist, Product Promotions Manager, Discover Dominica Authority, Jose Brown, our tourism consultant, Nicole Faustin, Head of Credit, Aid Bank, Mr. Michael Walter, Business Development Officer, Small Business Support Unit, Narin Murphy, Senior Relations Officer, National Bank of Dominica, Jeffrey Dura, Merchant Services Officer, National Bank of Dominica, Ms. Ramonia Williams, Executive Vice President of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association. Other invited guests, our dear vacation rentals owners and potential owners, the staff of the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, members of the media, good morning. Before we start off this morning, we want to invite the presence of the Lord here with us today, and to do so, we call to the podium Corey Surgington, the Quality Assurance Assistant at the Discover Dominica Authority. Please stand.
Good and gracious God, we thank you for bringing us here together today for this vacation rental seminar. We ask that you take control of our proceedings today and that the information delivered will permeate through our minds and that everything will just go as successful as possible. Lord, we ask that you take control today and send your Holy Spirit upon us. This we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Corey. Better? So we know that vacation rentals play an integral role in providing visitors with authentic, immersive experiences that showcases the island's warmth and culture. And so it is our hope that this consultation will bring together stakeholders to discuss opportunities, challenges, and collaborative strategies that enhance the sector's growth and sustainability. So to open up this consultation, I wish to call to the podium the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton. Minister.
Good morning, everyone. Let me recognize Ms. Lisa Valmond, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Ambassador Benoit Badwil, Chairman of Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Odile John Baptist, Product Promotions Manager, Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Jose Brown, Tourism Consultant, Mrs. Nicole Faustin, Head of Credit, Aid Bank, Mr. Michael Walters, Business Development Officer, Small Business Unit, Mr. Narin Murphy, Senior Relations Officer, NBD, Mr. Jeffrey Durand, Merchant Services Officer, NBD, Ms. Rhea Williams, Executive Vice President of Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, other invited guests, vacation rentals owners and potential owners, staff of the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, members of the media. Thank you for being here. The tourism industry in Dominica is on a rise because the secret of the most beautiful gem in the Caribbean, the nature island, is out. So this is an exciting time for our destination. Also interestingly, around the globe, travelers are increasingly seeking more than just a place to stay, but seeking unique experiences. So you, in the vacation rental subsector, can offer just that, personal, authentic, cultural experiences within a community. And Dominica certainly because of our diverse natural attractions, rich culture and heritage, warmth of our people, and being a safe destination has exactly what travelers want. So when I say this is our time, this is indeed our time. And what is even more exciting is that anyone with the drive, commitment, and diligence can benefit from this industry. This is why tourism remains one of the fastest growing industries and has also proven to be one of the fastest rebounding after any major disaster. So at the Ministry of Tourism, our strategy surrounds 3 key pillars: access, product development, and building resilient communities. So let's discuss these pillars. Access, where are we today? We have non-stop service from the US on American Airlines and United Airlines, representing 46% of air arrivals to Dominica as of the last report I got for the mid-March. We have expanded ferry service. Our international airport is under construction, which means on completion, non-stop flights from major markets like UK, China, Germany, Dubai. Marina, more mega yachts, high-end guests, some of whom may desire to spend some nights in a luxury hotel or Airbnb property. So because of the critical investments of this government, we are witnessing a boost in visitors to Dominica and expect a sharp increase once the international airport is completed. But one key challenge we foresee is not enough rooms. Despite this government's strides, utilizing the Citizen by Investment program to increase our room stock, we need more. So I view vacation rentals not as competition to traditional accommodations, but as complementary partners in growing a diversified tourism sector. But we also have to focus on the quality of our offerings, inclusive of our service, amenities, let me just say the entire guest experience. Now, don't get me wrong. There are different types of travelers. For example, there are people who wouldn't mind sleeping in a hammock. But there are also many guests who want to feel that after a long day of exploring, when they rest their heads, their comfort level is similar to their homes or even better. So you have to be able to either cater to diverse visitors or target a particular niche. But the information that you share with a potential guest must be clear, so people don't feel misled or, I'm going to be very blunt, duped. The reality is, as we grow, so will the postings on social media platforms. And your goal should be to keep positive reviews. So I am pleased, very pleased, that we have the lovely Jose Brown, our tourism consultant from Barbados, who has over 25 years of experience and a wealth of knowledge in the tourism industry. She has already begun working with so many of you to ensure that you have attractive packages in order to make your guests feel that they are receiving value for money. And because we are so impressed with her recommendations so far, and because she's so smitten by Dominica, we hope that she can reside in Dominica for 6 months in a year. But please don't tell her that, that's a secret. But honestly, she's going to help you have customized packages to ensure your guests have a superb experience, become repeat guests, and leave you great reviews on TravelAdvisor, Airbnb, and other media platforms. And she will also equip you with tools to effectively manage your business. In a nutshell, she will help you to increase your revenue, enhance your offerings, and highlight what makes each of you unique. And of course, some of you may need access to finance. So we have brought National Bank of Dominica and the Aid Bank to discuss financial products and specific options for you. And as I said earlier, standards, standards, standards. So Odile John Baptist will share some information on Nature Island standards of excellence. I can say to you One important factor for me in booking a hotel or vacation rental, I look at the pictures and I look at the bedroom and the washroom facilities. For me, the bed sheets and the pillows have to speak to me. They have to entice me to believe that they are soft. And I must have a comforter. And then I look at the ratings on cleanliness and staff response. So another important goal of this seminar is to have a dialogue with you to see how we can assist you in meeting guests' expectations by officially formalizing this subsector, ensuring that you have access to concessions and training to grow your business. So please share openly, as your input is vital to finalizing this plan. Also, we need to make it easier to access information on vacation rentals. One of the challenges we had during the carnival season is people finding places to stay. And some property owners registered very late with Dominica Festivals Commission. So we certainly have to make it easier for travelers to find your business. My fellow people, those in this room and potential visitors listening, the opportunities ahead are endless. What you need to do is tap into your creativity, don't overthink it, and don't hesitate to start small. One great thing about this industry is age isn't a barrier, whether you're youth or senior. Also, profession isn't a barrier, whether you're a fisher, farmer, chef, year-braider, teacher, artist, herbalist, housewife, doctor, or engineer. You can find a space in this industry. You can offer a room in your home, or an exotic tour package in your paradise, or create videos and reels to promote vacation rentals on TikTok. Adding value to your offering could simply mean serving cocoa tea boiled in a pot on a coal pot, or learning to make cassava bread, or being a kalinago for the day, or planting a mango tree, or learning how to make green banana mash using a turtle, or sport fishing, a canoe ride, river tubing, ginger shots at the bushram bar, or painting rocks by the river. Simple, but authentic. So the most important thing is to start something. Believe you can, keep going even when it gets tough, and hold on to the hope of a brighter future. I can't say this enough. Dominica has under 2,000 2,000 rooms. St. Lucia has over 5,000 and still expanding. There is opportunity in this vibrant industry for you. And the more Dominicans who thrive, the more local resources we use, the more community packages we create, the more money that circulates in our economy. So the more sustainable our tourism, the more resilient our communities, and the more revenue for our government to provide essential services for its citizens, especially to protect the most vulnerable among us. Together, we are building dynamic Dominica. So our entrepreneurs, I want you to reflect on these questions. Do you promote, market your offerings effectively? Do you collect feedback from guests to know what you did right and where you may need to improve? Are you preparing for the growth ahead and have packages tailored to meet diverse guest needs? How can we create tourism community packages linking with others in our community? So this is the start of many forums. We have a very busy schedule for Jose that we will have with stakeholders, community tourism groups, and tourism hubs across Dominica to ensure that we are well positioned for growth. Thank you all for being here. Let's have a productive seminar. May God continue to bless our beautiful people and nation.
Well, Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that very pointed official opening to this consultation. Minister has stressed the importance of access, unique experiences, standards, and of course, the importance of hearing from you today in terms of recommendations as to how we enhance this subsector. Next up on the agenda, I wish to invite Ms. Odile John Baptist, and she will give an overview of the consultation. Odile?
Honorable Dennis Charles, Pemberton, Minister of Tourism, Ms. Lisa Valmont, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Ambassador Bino Badwell, Chairman of Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Jose Brown, Tourism Consultant, Mrs. Nicole Faustin, Head of Credit, Aid Bank, Mr. Michael Walters, Business Development Officer, Small Business Unit, Mr. Narin Murphy, Senior Relation Officer at the National Bank of Dominica, Mr. Jeffrey Durant, Merchant Services Officer at the National Bank of Dominica, Ms. Rhea Williams, Executive Vice President of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, other invited guests, vacation rental owners and potential owners, staff of the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority, members of the media, good morning. The Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority remain committed to enhancing Dominica's tourism product, ensuring that our accommodation sector remains competitive, innovative, and aligned with global trends. In December 2024, we launched the Package Development Consultancy, a strategic initiative designed to elevate local accommodations by enhancing guest experiences, fostering creativity, and improving operational efficiency. This markets, improving systems, equipment, and human resource strategies at the properties, catering tailored action plan for seamless implementation, and measuring the impact of new strategies to drive continuous improvement. Whilst the initial focus has been on the Nature Island Standards of Excellence certified properties, this consultancy will be expanded to smaller accommodation to include vacation rentals, ensuring a broader impact across the sector. Today's session will feature a presentation by Ms. Brown covering critical areas such as emerging industry trends and guest demographics, challenges and opportunities with third-party booking platforms, enhancing business efficiency, strategies to optimize property potential and profitability, and refreshing property listings for improved bookings. Additionally, representatives from the Aid Bank and the National Bank of Dominica will provide insights into business financing opportunities, while the small business unit will outline fiscal incentives and licensing requirements for property owners. One of the key objectives of today's seminar is to gather recommendations for a policy paper on concessions to support the growth of the vacation rental sector. These recommendations will help shape the support mechanisms necessary to drive investment, encourage sector growth, and to ensure long-term sustainability. We appreciate your participation in today's seminar, and we look forward to hearing from you and to the engaging discussions that will foster growth and innovations within Dominica's vacation rental sector. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much, Ms. John Baptist, for setting out in terms of our program for today. We're going to go straight ahead and invite Jose Brown to the podium in terms of her presentation, after which we will have a short break. Jose?
A pleasant good morning, everybody. Can you hear me well on that side? Is it okay if I go as protocol having been established? All right, I'm gonna move somebody's microphone because I need a space. All right. The Honorable Minister spoke a little while ago about different types of properties across the island. You know, the smallest one with the most intimate experience, the other ones who are a little bit more fancy and have a lot more things. And as I look around this room, I see many of you that I have seen before who have been so gracious to allow me to come into your space and talk off your ears for hours at a time and to tell me all the other things that I need to do while I am here. For that, I am truly grateful and I thank you. And I haven't started my presentation, but I want to start by saying one of the best experiences that I've had since I've been here at a property is at Dan's Garden Guest House. Does anybody know where Dan is? What is it called? Yes, in a place called Sam's Gutter. One Sunday afternoon, I had to drive there. Where he is located, there's a corner in the back of his lot that he's put 2 hammocks under a little tent that you could look right through the gap in the trees and see across to one of those French islands, straight through at a certain point in time of the day. And it's just a converted older home that he's put rooms in. But the one thing that stood out to me is that it is impeccable and it is immaculate. As the Honorable Minister spoke about the quality of the sheets, when Dan started to talk to me about the things that he put into his place, I started to feel like And I was so proud of what it is that he had done. He said, Jose, I buy this here, the guests like this coffee, so I keep buying Cafe Bustelo. I said, you know what Cafe Bustelo is? That's one of the best coffees in the world. What are you doing? And he went on and he told me all the plans that he had. He built a pond in the front because he said people like ponds and they like koi fish. So he dug 6 feet down and put rocks and created his own man-made fountain. And I am in absolute awe. But the best part about Dan's property is the way that he has been able to integrate it into the community. Everybody in that area knows to go by Dan on a Thursday night for some kind of karaoke or some kind of party or something else. If you want something special done and created for you, he knows how to do it. And that is when we talk about, we talk about comfort, convenience, and community. It's not about the price of the thing, because Dan's room is $55 a night. And I would bet you it will probably be one of the best experiences that you have. Because he sat down there, he went and cut the 2 coconuts from the tree, and I there with my coconut in my hand and the straw. I went home with 3 mangoes, 6 guavas, 2 other kind of fruits that I don't even remember what it is. And now you look at his plan for expansion, and the expansion is not about knocking down the building and doing something else with it. It's about putting hammocks on the top, on the higher level, so that when you lie down at night, if you want to rent a hammock, you can look out and you can see everything. So when you think about the development that you need for your property, it's not all about the bricks and the mortars and the other thing. Because the experience that he was able to give to me, I made 1 4-minute long TikTok video because I parked at the side of the road and made it before I left because I could not leave without telling everybody about Dan and his little garden guest house. And that is what we want to aspire to. Regardless of the type of property that it is, that is the feeling that you want people to have when they come to your place and they go back out, because you want that content to go out into the world. Now, first slide, yes? Do we know what this is? I am going to be very offended. We don't know what this is? We do not know which stadium this is? None other than the Mecca of cricket of the Caribbean, Kensington Oval. Are we serious? Oh, I am absolutely heartbroken. Oh my goodness. Now, how many of you remember Cricket World Cup 2007? How many of you are old enough to remember Cricket World Cup 2007? See, now I'm telling my age. Now, Cricket World Cup 2007 is supposed to be the first Cricket World Cup held in the West Indies. And for that matter, Barbados was supposed to hold the final of Cricket World Cup. Barbados over Jamaica, Barbados over Trinidad. We are this big and they are this big. I want you to understand that we improved and redid Kensington Oval and put temporary seating in there where it fit 32,000 people was the capacity of Kensington Oval by the time we were done with it. But this is the first time cricket of this magnitude is coming to the region, and people are accustomed to seeing the vibes of the West Indies on TV. They're accustomed to the pretty girls, the pretty beaches, the pretty parties, the pretty everything. So you know what that meant? That when they came, they were not coming alone. So if the husband or the wife or whoever in the party wanted to come and watch the cricket, the whole family was coming. They were not in the Oval, but they were everywhere else. We are this big. This is 32,000 people and another 100,000 people who came along to tag along to be able to come to the cricket. So before the cricket came, the biggest question is, where are they going to stay? Because we certainly don't have enough hotel rooms to fit the people that are coming into the Oval. And I remember, because I am old enough to do so, the campaign that was launched before the cricket in 2007, maybe 3 years before it came, for everybody to open up a room in their house. So before the Airbnb that we know today was a thing, we've been doing this thing 20 plus years. Everybody got the funding. If you had an empty room in your house, make sure you make it nice. If you have an extra piece of land at the back and you could build 3 walls and create something, make sure you do it. If you have 3 houses in your family, everybody go and sleep in one, clean up the other 2, and open up the other 2 so that we could put them to rent, so that we can have enough space for everybody who's coming to the West Indies for cricket. Because the last thing you want to hear is, we gave the island people the opportunity to host the games and they could not take the people, right? So what we learned is that tourism is bigger than the things that you're accustomed to. We could not get through Cricket World Cup 2007 without people like you. Vacation rentals, homestays are the backbone of everything that we built that industry on. And 20 years later, we have over 4,000 vacation rentals in Barbados. It's crazy. But that is where it is. So when I take a look at what you have, next please, I look at this and I say, this is your Cricket World Cup 2007. Whereas the Oval was ours, this airport that you have opening up, right now you are, I want to say last year's stay-over arrivals were about 84,000, and the goal is to get to 500,000. You know how much people between 84,000 and 500,000 by 2030? A lot. You cannot build enough rooms to accommodate 500,000 people. So what's going to happen is that a lot of that is going to fall on you and properties and smaller properties that are like you. And the reason that that is a good thing is because it helps us to spread the tourism around. Because if we keep depending on the larger properties to hold the brunt of the responsibility of everything, the experience is not the same because they don't get to see the real Dominica. You know, they don't get outside, they don't get to do all the things. I'm not saying the larger properties don't provide that experience. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying we don't want everything concentrated in one place. So we need to be able to do better than that. Why this is also important is that another goal of your tourism over the next few years is to become the #1 eco-tourism destination of the Caribbean. So when people think eco and sustainability, synonymous with Dominica. And if we're going to do that, we have to spread it around. Next slide. So let's take a look at the benefits of vacation rentals on this island. And we're looking at stimulating local economies. And it's all about the money, money, money is all about the money. And it's not, when we say local economies, we're not necessarily talking just about, you know, government taxation, etc. We're talking about the ability of tourism to penetrate and trickle the funds down to the smallest person in every area. If you look at a vacation rental property, you might have an extra room, an extra, you know, a little house in the backyard that you put on as a vacation rental. You have to hire somebody to clean it. Chances are you probably have to hire, y'all got so much land here, you got to hire somebody to cut the grass and trim all the fruits and all the stuff around all the properties that you have. You have, that person is now in a community, which means that the shop, the corner shop down the road, has to put things in that shop that appeals to the guests that you have. They're going to spend that money. It means that the taxi driver who lives in your area, who might not get as much business in another area, now has a captive audience in that neighborhood that they can go and work with you to drive people around and do all these things. When we look at the stimulation of the local economies, it really and truly is about making sure that the tourism dollars trickle all the way down the way that they're supposed to, and that does not happen without you. It really doesn't happen without you. When we talk about spreading tourism around, Dominica is a little island, but it's not small, and I keep saying that all the time. Y'all real big. It is very confusing when you arrive from a small island like mine that it takes an hour and a half to get from anywhere without traffic. It is mind-boggling. So if we have everybody coming, for example, when we have everybody coming off the cruise ships, we don't want everybody to keep going up to Trafalgar and up in the Roseau Valley. We have to be able to put niches in different places so that we prevent over-tourism of any one particular site. Now, if we don't give people a reason to go to those places, they're not going to go. And then we're all going to be standing here in 10 years talking about, oh, we should have never done this tourism thing because we keep sending everybody to the same place. So we're looking at everybody's role and responsibility in terms of diversifying the sector, making sure that you're doing the things that you're supposed to, making sure we just get people all out, sending people up north, send them up south, east, west, everywhere, just get them out of the central to prevent the over-tourism. And then when we're looking at it, we see that vacation rentals truly helps us to support the overall goals of the destination. And it helps to support the overall goals of tourism. The other night in Lodi, I spoke about authenticity being the buzzword of the day for tourism. It is about making sure that we talk about the cuisine and the culture and the community and the content and all the fancy C's that the intellects like to talk about. We need to make sure that whatever we're offering gives people a reason to want to come back to Dominica. We give them a big story to tell. We keep telling a story that is bigger than the one that we are telling today. And vacation rentals, the types of property that you guys build and the way that you're able to execute the service that you do and the experiences that you do, I am legitimately in awe of all that I have seen so far that you're able to achieve. So next slide, please. So the real question is, why am I here? Like, seriously, why did they bring me here to talk to you about all of these things? And I'm here for two reasons, so we're going to start with the first one. As I said before, Cricket World Cup, the airport is your Cricket World Cup, your reason, your raison d'etre. And when the world truly understands what Dominica has to offer, when I tell you they'll be knocking on your doors like there's no tomorrow. Right now, you might not be able to get anybody from Expedia to answer your telephone call. You certainly don't get anybody from Booking.com to answer your telephone call because you're not big enough. But when the island explodes and everybody sees, oh my goodness, there's this little island in the Caribbean and we can make money there, the amount of emails that you're going to start to get for people who want things beyond this because I'm the best, do this because I'm the best. I need to prepare you for that. And I'm not just saying so because I am here to, I worked in the belly of one of those beasts for 5 whole years. So when I tell you, I know that they're coming and how they're coming, and I need to prepare you so that I can protect you from the outside world a little bit, that is exactly what it is that we are going to do. Now, I've been here since November, and one of the things when I go into the properties that we take a look at is how you live on the booking spaces. We take a review of how you're getting your business, where the business is coming from. Are you set up correctly? Are you doing the right things? And the reality is that along the way, we found a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that can be done better, and we need to fix it. You need the companies, but you also need to be able, balance, it's all in the name of balance. And I want to make sure that we're achieving balance when we're looking and we're working with these overseas companies. We don't want you to be on the losing end of any relationship. So that's my first round of babbling, and now it's for you to babble back to me. So let's talk a little. Next slide, please. How many of you are on Airbnb? That's like all, almost all. How many of you are featured on Booking.com? How many of you are on Verbal, or as you might say, VRBO? And how many on Expedia? So I want you to tell me, choose a platform, any platform, and tell me the worst experience that you're currently having. What are your pain points and your problems with the platform that you are working on? Don't pretend that you don't have any, because I know that that is absolutely not true. And do not be shy, because this is not the forum for you to be shy. I will call you out. Yes, please. Booking.com commission? Commission on Booking.com is 15%? No, Booking.com is 15%. Or 18, depending on if you decide to be a preferred property. So, hang on, we need a microphone so that everybody can hear what they're saying. So let me repeat what the first response was. Booking.com on commission at 15%. Carla said it is, then if you're a preferred member, it's an extra 3%, so you go to 18%. And then we have Genius. If you opt in to the Genius program, then wham, bam, another 10% gone, and you have not sold a room yet. You are down 25% at this 25 to 28% at this point in time. So that's problem number one. Anybody else? Yes.
Problem number 2. With me, it's Airbnb. I used to be on Airbnb. Firstly, it was accommodating. Came about, things change. And what I noticed with Airbnb is like every time they send you something, but then there is a fee that comes with everything. Yeah, right now, what I noticed, because I think January I got a new email, and I just shut down Airbnb. I'm telling you, because it looked like the guest is coming to Airbnb and not to Safari apartments. So right now I have no Airbnb, and someone is doing a booking.com for us.
All right, hold on a second, right? May I have your name first, please?
My name is Anne Mario, Safari Apartments.
Right, I will call her Safari Apartments because I did not understand the first part of that. So, why y'all like that? From the time the first thing goes wrong, you know what your instinctive reaction is? Shut it down. Shut it all the way down. I have had this conversation so many times. You don't like it, you shut it down. I'm like, how do you turn off the money? You can't turn off the money. We got to fix it so you could get the money, but you can't turn it off. Why y'all spiteful soul? Shut it down. Mask of Zorro.
I feel Airbnb that earning and not me. That's how I read it.
I get you.
So that's why I'm moving away from Airbnb and going to booking.com, and someone is doing that for us
The
personally.
mouth of the beast to the belly of the beast. I am telling you, it is no better. So we will tell you how to fix it.
I have not seen no Miss John Baptist here, no, and we have not seen you.
I've been up your side, so I don't know. I do not write my schedule, so I will put all the blame on Odile and Deslin. They will figure it out. Not me, but I've been up your side for sure. Anybody else? Yes, please.
I'm not sure if it's the exact point that I'm about to make. That's what you're about. But one of the disappointments in terms of Airbnb and VRBO, when after you get a booking, sometimes you have to drop your price because of competition. And let's say you get one booking, and maybe you charge $60, $60 US for a night. When it comes to NBD, they have to take 35 US.
Transfer fees will kill you from the NBD. That's why I was like, yeah, you better sit down in front here because we can talk to y'all today.
No, I heard someone from NBD here, right?
Right in front of me, I got
Thank you
you.
very much. And if we are here to build up that sector, and that is already a big disappointment. Because if you make one to every booking you get, let's say you get 2 bookings for a month, and all you have to take 35 US on every transaction that come into my account.
Hold on. Let me slow it down and translate it for the gentleman in front of me. Hi, gentlemen. What is being said is that when a reservation is made on Airbnb, let's say the booking, the owner charges $60 because they're smaller properties, so the rates are not high. First of all, Airbnb takes out their 3% plus the rest that they add on anyways. And then they have to send the money via transfer. Previously, they used to be able to send it via PayPal, but they shut that down for some reason. But now they're sending it via bank transfer. So if he gets one reservation from Airbnb for the entire year for $60, when the money comes through the bank, he loses $35 on the transfer fee. Yes. No. So I'm just saying that's what the complaint is. Don't worry, there's more NBD on my list. We will get back to you. Sorry, hang on, hold on. Mike is over there.
To mention it, but it has to do with booking.com. I would really like to see, you see, like for Airbnb and VRBO, they take their commission before they send you your amount.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
But
I wish, but for some reason, there is not. Booking.com doesn't do that.
They don't. So Booking.com does not work like that, especially in our region of the world, and it is specifically because they get to market it better. Because they're able to go online and say, one, you don't have to pay up front, you don't have to do all of these things. And the marketing that they're able to put behind it gives them a competitive advantage against Expedia and the others who take your money up front. They will never give us that opportunity so that they will take the money, because one, it's more work for them, they have to do more, it's more bandwidth required, and our region just probably does not make enough money that it hits on to the other regions that they would do it for. They're very willing to take our money, but they're not going to be very willing to help us make it. And that's something that we have to be okay but not okay with. It's what we're living with right now. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kewan O'Brien Pelte. I run my own company, Throne Room Realty and Property Management. I run my own company, Throne Room Realty and Property Management. I host at least 10 different properties. My preferred platform here is Airbnb. It's just convenient, and for one, I find the app is easier to maneuver. Bookings.com, on the other hand, I've had like 4 terrible experiences with them, especially persons booking and they are no show and not knowing the procedure and having to pay Bookings.com a commission and not even receiving the guests. So that is a big problem. I've also had double booking, and they're still asking me to compensate, or they're still charging me because their app didn't work properly and I have to pay a commission. And I've had quite a few bad experiences with Booking.com, so I am in the process of just shutting them down totally and stick to Airbnb. The transfer fee, the wire transfer fee has always been a little sticker for me. During heavy periods, like let's say Creole Festival and Carnival, when I get payments from Airbnb, you would have like 10, or sometimes I have one property with 3 different accommodation, 3 different apartments. So when I get that money, because it's from different properties, I just share that 35 US equally. So it makes sense. But as he said, when 2 nights at 60 US or 100, even at 110 US, it's a lot. So for me, I'm not sure what NBD can do about that, or if it's just, I have worked with other companies and I know once you receive international wire transfer, there is a fee, but I'm not sure what they can do for us, because already it's not as booming as we want. We are getting there, but in the interim. So I'm not sure if how we can establish a US account or something to make it more convenient.
Hold on. Before you sit and before I go to Yana, I'm going to say this with love. Please do not take it personally. Every issue that you identified as a problem with Booking.com is a you problem. It's not a Booking.com problem. They have their own problems, but the ones that you identified is a you problem. And it is a problem, and I want to say this, what I have found is that y'all put a lot of trust in these companies. They tell you to do X, you're like, yes, I will do X. They tell you, you need to put Genius or you need to put whatever on. Okay, they know what they're talking about, so I will do exactly as they say. And I want to tell you this, the only people they care about is themselves. The only thing that matters to them is the money that they get to take home and the competitive edge that they get over the other companies to stop them so that they book with them and not with the other person. So we're gonna get to how that is a you problem in a little bit, because that is the same problem everybody in this room had that we've been fixing since last November. So it is definitely, because you're not exposed to these platforms on a regular basis, it is just a lack of experience. And it is, you have a naivety where you believe that they want to help you, they do not want to help. If you do not remember anything else I tell you here today, just remember this. They don't want to help you. They want to help themselves. To help themselves, you must sell a room. So what if they take all your money, that's okay, because they sold the room and they can report it in their numbers and show all this market growth and market penetration, and that is what matters the most, because it helps them with their long-term marketing. Okay? Yes, Yana. Over here. Oh, sorry. Can you get a mic on this side?
So, my name is Yana. I'm from Le Petit Paradis. We were having that problem with the 45 US based on every transfer that was on Airbnb. But it was Bank of America that was taking that percentage. So what we did to, combat that issue is that instead of transferring the money after every reservation, no, we're transferring the money when it reaches a certain point. So for example, if we made $1,000 on Airbnb, that's when we will transfer the money. So the 35 US will come out on the $1,000 and not on the 60 US, So yeah, that's how we solved that problem. It wasn't NBD.
That's
because we went to NBD.
Yana, that's a luxury that you have because you actually get to the stage of getting $1,000 worth of bookings. So for the others who get a one-off and a one-off and a one-off, it's still we have to find a solution for that.
But that is
we sharing licks. They can hold these ones for now because I want to give them some more. I want to put a little pressure on this side. Don't do that. Just let me put the pressure. Yes, please.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Hervé, and I talk today with my hat of this year's DHTA Director of Accommodation. I agree with what you said, and I would add that none of these platforms is good, but they are all good.
Yes.
So when you have a problem with Airbnb, your neighbor will have a problem with Booking.com, and the house in the other side of the road will have a problem with VRBO. I have no doubt about that. I agree with you when you say that sometimes the problems are your problem and not their problem. Just to give an idea, if Booking.com takes a commission on a no-show, it's because they have cash. It's because they have cash, or you should have. So they take their commission, let's say 18%, on the money that they have, or you should have cash for them. So it's fair. Now, I just wanted to add one thing. The only thing I wanted to add is the following. Some people consider that these platforms are taking big commissions. And I have always seen it the opposite way. I don't think they take 15% commission. I consider they give me 85% revenue. And that's number one. And number two is when you think commission, we are small enough, we are enough a niche in Dominica that when you think of these platforms, why just commercially, why would you see the commission taken on a fair and lump sum amount? To give an example, what prevents you or what forbids you, if your average price you want to get is $100, why wouldn't you have $100 rate on your own website for a direct sale, and not, why wouldn't you have $125 on Booking.com? And I speak a lot with people about that, and I regret that people think, as you were saying, that they have to follow the rules of these platforms. I sincerely don't think so.
By professional training, I'm a hotel revenue manager. For those of you who don't know what a hotel revenue manager is pretty much a hotel economist. We study supply and demand, and we make people a lot of money all the time. That's the easiest way to put it. So I agree when and I said I came from the belly of one of those beasts for 5 years. So in all of the things that we talk about, I will teach you all the tricks that you need to learn to beat every single one of them, because we must win. We will not keep losing, we must win. And that's one of the intentions of this consultancy, to make sure that I prepare you for those beasts when they rise up for real and say, ooh, there's money in Dominica. You had something to say?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes? I can't.
My name is Ernestine, and I'm new to the industry. And we're in the process of doing research.
Yes.
And so my research, I agree with the last gentleman, do your own website. However, Airbnb, although they charge a 3% commission, there is a positive side where they give you liability, insurance liability, in case something happens to your guests as well. So I wanted to know if that is a fact.
If they say so on their website legally, that is a fact. Operationally, it could be a lot of different things to invoke those things, but legally, if they state it, it is a fact. Now, I wanna run through a couple of things. So if we look at Airbnb, yes, please.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something else. Just to touch on her first, it does not negate you from having your own private insurance, for sure. And I just want to say about the platforms, because I've worked with these platforms for years, and it's nice when you can charge the guests on your card, because you will pay a 2.75% merchant fee, as opposed to paying the transfer fee when you get the money from the platform, the OTA. So I prefer to use booking.com because of that. Also, it's very time consuming, it can be, but as you said, if you are using it regularly, practice makes perfect. But we have to remember, not only do they have the guidelines and tutorials on YouTube and guidelines on their site, there are also forums. So you can also go on the forums of the OTAs to see what other people are experiencing all over the world. And it's amazing what you can learn from that. Because they advertise you to do something, as you said, doesn't mean you have to do it. For instance, the Genius. They trap you into the Genius, and then they do special promotions on top of the Genius where they do a discount, then you have to do a discount, plus you have the commission. So at one point I found I was paying a 35% off my rack rate, my public rate. So you have to really look at what they offer. I think for operators here, you have to look at what they're offering you and not be sucked in too quickly to that. I also still have the opportunity to use PayPal for Airbnb. Now the problem is that PayPal's cost again, I think it's 4.2 or something.
But some people it's 5, sometimes it has another 5%.
Yeah. But also PayPal does not send money here very cheaply. So what I do, I use PayPal to pay booking.com. So when Airbnb pays me to PayPal, I use the PayPal to pay booking.com. So that's one set of transfer fees.
So you don't bring home the money, you just keep it outside and let it work. Oh, that is
Precisely.
brilliant.
And one last thing I'd like to say, there is a little square button when you're paying your invoice. Open up your invoice, see the breakdown, and click on the dispute box and dispute that crap. You don't have to pay it. You start to dispute it, it's not in their interest to start going into the manpower. Look at it, and then they say, oh, I see what you mean, they take off that charge. And you could save hundreds of dollars by clicking on that little box. That's just wanted to add to those conversations. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Sorry,
Sorry, my name is Carla.
among other things.
So if we take a look at Dominique on Airbnb, there's just under 800 listings on Airbnb for Dominica. You wouldn't think so, but it's a lot. You've got 800 listings. The issues that we have identified so far is that within the back end of Airbnb, sometimes they like to tell you, properties in your area are charging this, you should charge this. And a lot of you are like, okay, Airbnb, thank you for your guidance, I will charge this. What are y'all doing? Right? We don't ever do that. Ignore. Just ignore. Leave me alone, we're not doing that. Because you have... Oh no, we're getting there, don't worry. We're coming real bad. So now you have Airbnb telling you what to charge because they think that the area should charge $25. How are you going to live on what is $25? What's that going to do for you? It can do absolutely nothing for you. And then they're adding on their side the extra 15% because they're now, making more money off of your property than you are. And then for those of you who are doing the direct business, you're then saying, well, I know my property is not worth $25, but I don't dare tell Airbnb that my property is not worth $25. So you let Airbnb sell it at $25, and then you sell it direct for $50. You cannot compete with yourself when you make yourself more expensive than the other platform. So we have to take a look at the way rate parity and price integrity and all those things play out, because I agree, at a certain point in time, you have to stack the odds in your favor so that you can convert those reservations as direct bookings, because it's the cheapest type of reservation that you will ever get. Now, we go to booking.com, and booking.com is the biggest producer of room nights into Dominica. The reason behind that is that booking.com is a European country. It's Dutch, which means that all the Europeans, all they know is booking.com. And if you're getting loads of people coming from the French islands, you know what they know? Booking.com. So by default, you have no control over the fact that booking.com is the number one producer to your destination. That is completely out of your control. You cannot change that. It's literally based on the people who are coming to you and what they are familiar with. Now, the problems that I've seen that we've tried to fix on booking.com is that all of you are on there saying, I don't need you do not need a credit card to pay me. I will take your cash on arrival. And then when the guests don't turn up, how you can charge them? If you never took a card and you said you could come on the day and pay, you have no recourse. So everybody that I have been to, we've changed all of that. We're not doing this. So one, we've set up cancellation policies. We've put on booking.com, you cannot cancel this reservation less than 7 days prior to arrival. And why did we go with 7? Because I'm assuming by your labor law, you cannot change your roster within 7 days. So at 7 days, if you can't change the roster, then you are depending on the money that is coming within the next 7 days to take care of the bills that are happening within that time frame. So you know what happens at 7 days? We say you can't cancel, and if you cancel, it's 100% penalty. We take in all the money. We're not playing, because you might not come, but I still have bills to pay. A lot of you don't believe that you could change these terms. And when I change them for you, if you see the squirms, and I say this to you, if I were in Barbados, it would be 45 days, 100% penalty with 0 remorse. So be very happy that I told you to put 7. And I support the 7 because you don't have the airlift. You know, there's a lot of things that do that, but for the time you get to the airport, I'm gonna tell you to change that to 30. Because then you're operating in a different economic bracket. But right now, we admit that they still have the upper hand over you, so we can play a little bit. We're gonna play a little bit of hardball, but not where it costs you anything. We're trying to protect your money. Because if you run through your booking.com reports in the back, I want you to go and add up how much money you actually lost on those no-shows and those late cancellations that you have nothing. Not just count the money that you did not collect, count the staff that you paid to clean the room, the staff that you paid to turn up to check in the guests who never turned up. There's so many costs attached to bad policies that I need you to pay attention to the policies. The issue now that we have from an MBD standpoint is that not enough of you have the credit card machines. So I talking to them right here, right now for you, don't worry. So you have a situation where we've put the policies in place. The policies are in place to say, when these people come, we've set it up to say, when the guest makes a booking, we will charge you before you arrive on this island. But we can't charge them if they have no mechanism to charge them. We want them to generate more direct business, and we can't do it because you also don't have a payment gateway. That link that you have to tell people that when somebody books, send them back a link, that is bad business. It does not work. So please to take that back to whoever needs to fix that, because if we are growing this industry, you are an Achilles heel in our ability to make the money that needs to be made so that everybody can live. So now we move on. I'll come back to the...
Because I want to continue with the answer for me, please.
Yes?
Because maybe don't hear you better.
Yes.
Why they don't have a cordless
We will work on the payment. You will talk about all of that when you come. You heard the question. When you come here, you will have that question. So hang on. Let's go through the verbal. Now, many of you don't work on verbal. And the difference between verbal and Airbnb is that verbal is an Expedia. Verbal is a part of Expedia. And verbal only hosts entire units. So for those of you who have multiple rooms in a place, you can't put that on verbal. You can put a whole house, a whole apartment, as long as it's the entire structure, you can put that on verbal. But the difference between Airbnb and verbal is 800 properties on Airbnb and 160 on verbal. You are not paying for the visibility and you're not paying for the exposure. It is the freest form of advertising that you can get. So that when somebody Googles you, even if you don't have a direct website or a direct social media page, they need to be able to find you on every single platform that exists. So this is me telling you, get over yourself. If you've had a bad experience with them before, suck it up, because you know what? You cannot afford the marketing for the product. You can't afford to pay the social media spend. You can't afford to pay the SEO spend. So you need to use these platforms and leverage all of their billions of dollars that they're spending on you to make sure that until you can, and until we have something that's better, that you're getting as much visibility as possible for those conversions. So they are a tool that I need you to activate and use as best as possible. This is not question time. It's time for me to babble. And then we go on to Expedia. Somewhere along the line, Expedia convinced all of you that you need to sign a contract for 25% and a 10% package saving and all of these things. Every person that I have been to, we have asked for recontracting. Said, no, we're not doing that. We do not have an airport that supports enough airlift for me to pay you 25% commission. Come back in 3 years. But right now, we are going to operate on 15%. And we're changing everybody's business model on Expedia out of that ETP, EC concoction so that they operate the same way that Booking.com does. And you bring down your commission to 15%. But these are not things that you necessarily know that you had to do. I visited a property who was set up since 2016 and has not changed a package or a promotion in 9 years. And they have a lot of stuff set in the platform since 2016. And then they keep adding to it. So all these things doubling up. So when you start with a rate of $70, and then you get $27 in your pocket after everything is done. And then the first thing that is said to me is, Expedia's carrying away my money. I said, no, that's you. They didn't put this stuff in the back. You did. You did because somewhere along the line you allowed it to convince you that that's what you needed. You don't need it. So we sat and we took out everything. We unpicked the entire system. We made it back to 70. So now for sure you can see what is what. And we start over from scratch. And a lot of you need resetting. Do not be afraid to go in and mask of Zorro, turn off everything and see what it looks like and start from the beginning. You have to understand what's in there. Play with the system so that you can get the best out of it. Next slide. So everybody said the problem is the pricing because y'all don't know how to price. Next one there. Right. So what I've had to create is this little baby here because we know we have to play with the systems. We know that the commission ranges between 15, 18, 20%. We know that they say that if you're on Genius or on Members, that you get extra visibility into all of these people. They could give you all the reports to say that 90% of their people but Genius. They will tell you all the sweet nothings in your ears so that you could participate in these programs, right? But you are putting a basic rate in there and not putting any cushion on it. So what we've built is a tool that pretty much tells you what you need to charge based on your occupancy. So across the top of this thing, where it says full year's expenses in XCD, is most of you don't understand what it actually costs you to run the place. Because it's attached to your house or attached to something else, you can't tell me, okay, the electricity on this unit is this, the water on this unit is this, when it operates for 30 days, it is this. So we have to get familiar with those numbers and the way that those numbers work. So we take a look at how much money we've spent for the entire year to run your property. We put it in the top, And we say, okay, if I run 100%, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, etc., what do I need to charge? And then we say how many rooms you have, and then it gives you your break-even rate. So your break-even rate is very different to your vanity price. This is the lowest rate that you can ever sell so that you can cover the cost of the stuff that's going on in your business. So once that comes down, we do a lot of fancy numbers on the bottom and say, yes, booking.com, I am going to participate in your genius, but it's not coming out of my pocket though, it's coming out of somebody else's pocket. And you stack it, you add the cushion onto it, so you get all the cross-outs and the participations and all the campaigns and all the fancy things that they tell you that you need to be successful on their platform. Using this worksheet here builds up the cushion so that they win and you win because you are now able to participate and play the game the way that it is supposed to be played. So we've put this in a bunch of people's things already. Whenever I get to you, we will do this, or I will do a video and show you how to use it so you can use it at, so you can use it at home. So pricing is our biggest problem. And it's not the rate that you want to get, it's the way that you load the rates that is the biggest problem, because you're not giving yourself any wiggle room whatsoever to be able to win. So I want to move on to, I will send this, I will give this to the DDA to send so that you can get it from them, yeah? Now, next slide, please. I want to talk about a couple of best practices. And the first best practice, I have permission from Jackie Emmanuel to talk about all the stuff that we did at her place. I am not talking about anybody's business without their permission. Now, Jackie owns New Providence in Maho. And driving up to New Providence, I got lost on the last turn because Google Maps was not necessarily as clear. So I ended up going over the bridge, around the corner, and a lot of things that I did not need to be doing. So when I told that to Jackie, in about 3 weeks, she sent me 2 pictures with 2 new signs. New Providence arrow, and we fixed that. And I bring that up because a lot of you need signage. You need to be able to direct the people to get to where they're going. It's like the signs start and then they drop off, and you're guessing. And not only do you need signage to help guide people to get to where you are, you need to make sure that you're properly mapped on Google Maps or Waze or all the things. We need to make sure that your location is accurately pinned. So Jackie here has the original house of Providence, and she built 2 apartments on the top. When I went to visit Jackie, she was selling the house as a 4-bedroom house that sleeps 10 people at $125. I said, Jackie, is this summer camp? This is not summer camp. We are not running summer camp, so let's fix this right now. Because that is the rate that Airbnb told her that is competitive. And not knowing any better, she's like, okay, let me do this. Now, in Jackie's house at the bottom, she has an original house that has 3 bedrooms, and then over time she'd added on one in the back that made a 4th bedroom that was closed off by a door. So I said, Jackie, first thing we turn this 1 property into 2. Close the door. You now have a studio in the back that is a completely separate listing, and in the front, you don't have any storage. So we're going to close the smallest bedroom off and use it as a storeroom, and put the front as a 2-bedroom because it's only 1 bathroom. It is a lot easier and a lot more palatable to sell a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom than it is to sell a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom and have so many people chuck up tight under each other. So we completely reconfigured Jackie's place. In the front wraparound balcony, Jackie had every piece of furniture that she owns outside because she's looking for 10 people to come. So it's prepped for 10 people to come. So I'm like, no. We're taking out this chair, this chair, this chair, because you got to look at the optics of when I drive up to your place, right? Some of you have a lot of things and you like to show me that you have a lot of things. I don't need to see everything all at once. So the ability for her to close off one of her bedrooms means that she can hide things. She no longer has to have a container on the bottom of the road or a room somewhere else and pay somebody to drive up and down. She can close that off. But we also are now able to convert that into a 3-bedroom and just open up the back door if somebody wants a 3-bedroom. And we've increased the price. So now we sell the studio at $100 and the 2-bedroom at $125, and when you open the doors, $225. She's now $100 up on what she was charging for 10 people to stay in one place. When we go up the top by her apartments, one of the things that we do is to look around and look at the functionality of the flow of the apartments, and they're extremely well done. But again, Jackie has a lot of furniture. I was like, Jackie, no. There's no path here. People come here for, if you understand your guests, where people come for longer lengths of stays. There was no desk to sit and write at. There's no nothing for you to do certain things. I was like, Jackie, really? I would get rid of this, put a sectional in this corner, put a desk right there, hide those wires. And in 2 weeks, Jackie said, Jose, I buy the thing at Quartz, and she sent me the Quartz receipt for the sectional, and she has completely reconfigured this. Now, obviously, as you change things, people who are accustomed to your property will get a little upset. Let them get upset. There's going to be teething problems, because guests who were stalking her on Airbnb and saw the difference in price, oh my God, the price has gone up. I said, Jackie said, yes, yesterday's price is not today's price. That is exactly what we tell them, because it will only last so long. Once you get through the first wave of people who were accustomed to seeing you in a certain place, the others don't know any different. They will learn to adapt. But what we also did at Jackie is that we sat down and for the next 2 years, looked at her occupancy, the way that she runs over Carnival, the way that she runs over Creole Festival. And many of you do not make any adjustments over demand periods. The same price for Carnival is the same price for when it's empty, the same price for everything. You do not tell the guests, listen, if you want to come at my place for Carnival, you better be coming here for 7 nights. You allow them to book 1 night, 2 night, 3 night, block up the space, and then you can't make any other bookings because you gave it away for 3 nights. So we sat down and we built out these blocks to say, if you are coming here from the 24th of October, because Carnival was already done, that was done, we couldn't change it. Creole Festival, if you're coming here on the 24th of October, if you arrive on the 24th, you cannot stay here for less than 5 nights. If you come on the 23rd, no less than 4 nights. And we built some kind of surge pricing in here where we said, add on 20% onto this rate because they're coming. You have to execute the revenue management behind the rates. So when the demand is high, make your money. Don't just fill it out based on the occupancy, optimize the pricing behind it. Don't get greedy now and gouge the people. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. You have to understand the value of your product and what people are willing to pay. Go into the back ends of these systems and make sure that you account for all of those things. So now Jackie was only on Airbnb. I was like, well, you need another channel. She doesn't have a credit card machine, so we couldn't put her on booking.com because she can't collect the money. So we went for Verbal. From the time you go to sign up, so when we go for Verbal, we can't sell the studio, we can't sell that first concoction, we have to sell the entire house. So she has one less listing on Verbal than she does on Airbnb. But what you don't understand is that Airbnb allows you to link all of these other people via their iCal links. So many people are concerned about not having technology and having to manage 3 different things all at once. But if you use Airbnb as your brain system and you sign up on Verbal, Airbnb gives you a link to put into Verbal. Verbal gives you one to put back into Airbnb. So when it sells here, it closes out there. When you sign up for booking.com, Airbnb does the same thing on booking.com. So Airbnb is your brain. Everything feeds into that. And you have not spent a cent on any kind of technology. You are using the same technology. So if you are concerned about the 15%, they're working for it. So we need to make sure that we're using the system so that they're working for it. And those are the types of things that we're looking at when we go into the properties to make sure that you are making the most of everything that is available. The next one. A quick second best practice here is at Golden Inn. I find that you guys don't split out your accommodation. So Santa has a 2-bedroom with 1 bathroom. But when she put the rate up, it was just a 1-bedroom price. And when the people come and bring in 2 extra people, you try to negotiate more. You cannot negotiate more money with them after you've sold the room, okay? If it is not there at the beginning when the booking is being made, it is illegal for you to charge them any more money when they arrive. So what we ended up doing is to splitting out her 2-bedroom into 2 separate listings, a 1-bedroom option and a 2-bedroom option. On Airbnb, what we then did is to get the iCal link from the 1-bedroom to talk to the iCal link from the 2-bedroom so that if one sells, the other one sells out. So you don't have to manage the inventory. So there's so much stuff sitting in the back of these things that help you to be a little bit more in tune with what's going on. And by being able to sell these different configurations, it means that you're attracting different guests in different price brackets, and you get to see who your accommodation speaks to and what type of people are coming to you based on the pricing. Now, I really soon done. Next slide, please. The next reason as to why I'm here is on packaging. I am here to make sure that we are packaging things properly. And this is the blurb. For those of you who I've been to before, you will hear this blurb, and this is how the blurb goes. Normally when you come to Dominica, you think about 6 things to do. And when you get here, there's 6,000 things to do that you never knew that were available to be done. And one of 2 things happens. One, you're upset because you didn't plan for the time to be able to try 6,000 things. And 2, you don't have the money because you didn't budget to do 6,000 things. So when it comes to packaging, packaging is about education and telling people all of the things that are available before they come, which means that the information that we are putting out for the research abilities of the island is not strong enough, because we're all coming with the mindset of the same 6 things. I told you earlier I come from a small island. Nobody ever told me that it takes an hour and a half to drive from one side of this island to the next side of this island. When I look at a map, there's another small island that's 20 minutes. Everything for me is 20 minutes. I didn't know that before I got here, and I am your neighbor. So imagine the people who are on the other side of the world, the way that they interpret the information, because they all think all the islands are small and everything is the same. So we're looking at the way that we differentiate that and educate our guests to be able to make the decisions that they need, because we need the money to trickle down to everybody. So when you hear packaging, you could go to the next one. When you hear packaging, the way that packaging is currently done is we come to you and say, hey, we have a campaign, can you send me a package? And it is now your responsibility as a property owner or hotelier to sit down and create something and send it in so that it is marketed. The issues with that are, you are going to sell the same thing all the time. You get into a habit of familiarity. This is easy, so I'm going to continue to do this time and time again. What happens with that is that the other attractions or the other places or the new businesses that you might not be familiar with never get a chance. So for that reason, we believe that packaging should not be the responsibility of the properties. You can sell as many packages as you want, but at the destination level, the packaging has to be different. It has to be more dynamic. It has to be more robust. It has to be intuitive. The storytelling that lies behind it has to tell you, why should I choose Dominica over St. Lucia? I can have an option of 6 different sulfur springs, or I can have 1. I can have, my wellness story is a little bit more advanced. My adventure story has, the deepest adventure you get in Barbados is diving. But I could go canyoning, I could do all of these things. But those are not the way that we put things together, and that's how we have to start putting things together. We have to tell the guests what is available, give them the option to curate their own packages based on how we lay the information out, so that then they know all of the things that are available, whether it's families, honeymoons, weddings, all of the things, location-based, everything. And that's what we want to work on when we talk about packaging. So I'm going to finish here soon, quick. So when we do this, we're looking at choosing an experience, right? If somebody's coming for adventure, what do you put together and say, this is an adventure package, this is a wellness package? What are the options that are available? And next, so when I talk about package, this is what I'm saying. We choose an area, whether it's geographical or whether it's a theme. And we tell them on day 1, this is my ideal start to Dominica. I call it touchdown and takeoff. Because you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of landing at the airport and driving straight to Roseau. Nobody don't ask me if I want to go to Calabishi. They don't ask me if I want to go to Soma Garden. They don't ask me if I want to stop at Spani or Jacko. And they don't ask me if I want to stop and sip 3 rums to take my life at the Bush Rum Lady. There is a direct path from the airport to Roseau. If I arrive on this island before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I need to make a stop. My experience needs to start from the time I touch down on this island, because what happens is that when you bring me down to Roseau, I sit down in my room and put up my feet for the rest of the day, and as my first day is dead. No money has left my pockets to go to anybody else on this island. That is it. I might go to the fresh market, because right now that's the only thing that I would know at that point in time, right? So when we talk about the packaging, day 1, we touch down. We work with Digicel and Flow and give you the option to get an eSIM because your local eSIM works really better on your island than the international online eSIMs. Those international online eSIMs throttle data like it's nobody's business. Personal experience. I generally use 8 gigabytes of online data when I am here for a weekend. It is a lot. So now we're bringing corporate businesses into the fold as a part of the packaging. So the time you touch down, activate eSIM, I am connected. I can make calls, I can do whatever, because this is an island you need connection because it's big and you need help. When you need help, you need to be able to get through. I drive down the road, whatever my fancy is, based on what I like to do as a traveler, I make a stop before I get to where I'm going. On that night, based on where you are, send me to somebody in your community to have a dinner, or a nightcap or something, and you build it out. By the time you're finished building it out, you know that you've put 10 other businesses into this experience who would not normally be included in anything that is being done. Even if nobody buys the package, you want me to tell you what happens? They have read it, and they have become familiar with 10 businesses that they did not know. So even if they book all of these things individually with other people, they now know to ask the question, hey, I saw that they had this thing on the site. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And that is when we talk about education and getting the information out, how we work on those things. So when we talk about packaging, this is kind of what we're looking at. Next slide. But in order to do this, we need to support it with technology, because I can't depend on you that cook, chef, bottle washer, all the things, to sit down and be able to build the things that we need. So what we're working on is a piece of technology that supports the DDA and all of the campaigns that they run. We're looking at making sure, it just says hotels, it will say accommodation because everybody's included, yes? All the accommodation, the car rentals, the activities, and then we go into packages, where we can build these packages with the itineraries, and we can create to our heart's content all of the information that we want to have put out. And all of these things can be bought with one transaction. You're not sending, right now somebody who wants to book Dominique, they got to go to Expedia, they got to go to booking.com, they got to go to Airbnb, they have to go to all of these places to get all the information. We need to put it in one place so it is easy, and so it's easy to convert. And this is what we're working on. And it goes hand in hand next, it goes hand in hand with supporting things like Cool Escapes, because right now many of you are not a part of this. But if we put everybody on the platform, then the DDA does not have to come back to you and say, hey, look, I'm doing something, can you do something? No, that's no longer your responsibility. It now becomes automatic inclusion. So when we put you all up, when the DDA creates Cool Escapes and they say, you know what, I want a wellness tranche, I want an adventure tranche, then we sit down and we pull all the things together and we give it to the guests so that then they can either buy it as one, or they can split it up and do whatever they want. And now your primary responsibility becomes taking care of your guests, because that is what you should be doing, making sure that the business at you is taken care of, as opposed to trying to figure out and manipulate all of these systems to see what happens then. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I am saying that in the last leg of my life, I started to work on some tourism technology. And we have tourism technology available that can help Discover Dominica achieve the things that needs to be achieved. And that is what we will test to make sure it works for everybody, because we have something already. To build technology to the level that we want is going to be time consuming and cost intensive. And we already have that technology. The technology that we have even for allows you to actually put restaurants on it, all the people in the neighborhood. It gives you, if we wanted to launch a rewards program so people spend more money on the island and redeem stuff, we have the ability to do all of that. Because it already exists, it can be tailor-made to everything that you guys want. And that is what we are working towards. So in the next, we'll start testing some properties to load them up by the middle of April. This consultancy ends on May 31st. By the end of May, we'll be able to stand here and say, hey, here's a sample of some of the things that we've been able to create. But all of this requires your input and your feedback. So if you live in an area and you know there's stuff that we're missing, make sure that we have it so that we can do it. And thank you very much for listening to me babble on and on and on and on and on and on.
Thank you so much, Jose. I think right now we need a little break for us to take it all in and process. So we invite you to, have a little break, 15 minutes, and then we will regroup and get to NBD.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not so I'm not going to say protocol has already been established. We acknowledge Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, the Minister of Tourism, Ms. Lisa Valmont, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Ms. Odile John Baptist, Product Promotion Manager, Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Josie Brown, who gave us a thought-provoking presentation, and pressure on the bank, our dear consultant, fellow banker, Ms. Nicole Fostin, Head of Credit Aid Bank, Micah Walter, Business Development Officer, Small Business Unit, my colleague, Jeffrey Dura, Merchant Services Officer, Ms. Ramonia Williams, Executive Vice President, Executive Vice President of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association. Other invited guests, vacation rental owners, those already operating, those aspiring to operate, and ladies and gentlemen, 47 years, your partner, your bank, whether you're a big conglomerate, middle size, small business, or whether you thought of having a business last night, your partner, your bank. Gone are the days when banking, they would speak of providing products and services. At NBD, and I can only speak for NBD, we provide solutions. So we consider ourselves at times financial doctors, where we will assess you and provide the right antidote to suit your particular predicament. So we're all about solution, solution, solution. And with the limited time that I have here, I will advise of some of those solutions that will allow you to take your business from here to over here. I just ask that the mic obey and behave a little bit. Usually when I sing Calypso, I have full control over the mic. I think yeah. So some of the solutions that we provide, ladies and gentlemen, are tailored loan packages. And with that, we have various loans. And I will get to a specific loan that would like the businesses to give consideration. It's a package that when you hear about it, from tomorrow you will flock the National Bank of Dominica. We offer business deposit accounts. Gone are the days where you would stockpile your money under your mattress. So we move from mattress to interest. We offer online banking, and you will track your business in the night. Nobody have to take time off to go and get salaries. You can do that online. Night deposit services is also offered, and my colleague here will speak to the point of sale and all the issues with point of sale and the Airbnb and the bookings.com and how you can get more of the money staying with you than staying outside over there. My colleague will also speak on e-commerce. I said we offer tailored loan solutions, and one of the solutions we offer to businesses right now is a package we call the ECPC GC. It's a little, sometimes it can twist your tongue a little bit, but it is a package that allows new businesses, young businesses to tap into the financial resources that they need without having a ton load of security. You no longer have to go and wake up your grandmother somewhere and say, you need the land paper. That package, that program, that is in collaboration with the Eastern Caribbean Partial Guarantee, Credit Guarantee Corporation. It provides financial services to the SMEs. There are a lot of benefits that comes with that, and for one, easy access to financing. As I said, little or sometimes even no collateral requirements. It will allow you to boost the confidence in your business as well. And how you can use that fund. We talk about vacation homes and getting your product to that standard. Because in business, if you're in business 15, 20 years ago, the way the room was looking then, I should be seeing something different now. So that facility allows you to do some needed upgrades. And you have to continuously upgrade your business. Furnishing and equipment. I think I should turn here. Working capital for your business as well. So if we were to speak of some of these offerings from the ECPC GC loans, there are varied types of solutions under that arrangement with the ECPC GC. We have the classic, where you can get a maximum amount of $750,000. Yes, you can get that with just about 25% security. I mean, that should sound good. You just have to meet the criteria, of course. We must do our various risk assessment to ensure that it is mutually beneficial to both parties. So we have the classic guarantee up to $750,000. We also have the working capital guarantee program. This one is up to $200,000, where your security that you will require to meet is just 20%. So you want $100,000, all we're asking is that you bring $20,000. And it don't have to be cash. It could be real estate. It could be a debenture, a whole and some fixed asset that you have. So we are making banking very accommodating. As we said, your bank, your partner. There's also the startup, because we understand that everybody will be in business 6, 7, 10 years. So the program also caters for persons that are now starting off into business. And we have the startup guarantee program, where you can get $100,000 with security requirements of just 20%. So it's almost like 20, 25%. That's all you have to think of coming up with. And of course, some equity contribution, because equity confirms your interest, your dedication, your passion into that project, where you share the risk as well. The bank will have the bigger slice of the pie, but you will have some stake into the business. Recently, the ECPC GC, and that is something they continuously do, they look to see how we can augment the program, how we can enhance it. So before, they would have probably started off with 2 or 3 options. Right now, there is an additional one where it is targeting the micro entrepreneurs who may not qualify under the other programs. This one, you can get up to $50,000. There's also provision for bookkeeping, because we understand one of the shortcomings for small business owners is the record keeping. Provision is made for support in that regard. So that was it in terms of the loan. Yes, we offer commercial loans and overdrafts and whatnot, but I wanted to dwell specifically on the offerings from the ECPC GC, which is an offering which requires very little securities. We offer business accounts. As I said, we move from the mattress, putting money there and running that risk of somebody breaking and opening your home. It is safe and secure in the bank. And with a business account, you separate business from personal activities. And we encourage that strongly. You're in business, you're a rental business. It's not because you already have an account with the bank that you open probably when you were young. Now that you're in business, open a separate account. Channel the business funds to that account, and then you can have a drawings to or transfer to your personal account. But we try to avoid the commingling with your business and your non-business activities. Your checking account will also allow you to track your payments to your suppliers. And if somebody said, well, I have not received the payment, you can go on your account and you can pull up and see, okay, well, here it is, check back your records. You have the opportunity to issue checks and make online payments. We also offer business savings accounts. We probably maybe the only bank on island that still offers business savings account. Across the globe, business savings accounts are not a thing that banks offer, because when you hear savings, there's an outflow. You have to pay interest. So by and large, if it's a business you have, at most, you're restricted to just having a checking account that earns no interest. At NBD, at this time, we still offer the opportunity. So the excess funds that you have, or those funds that you would allow to accumulate in the bookings.com before drawing it down, you could place it in the savings to earn $1 or $2 for you in terms of interest. Your partner, your bank. You also use those savings for emergencies. I mean, you can never predict what is going to happen in your business. Everything might be looking nice and dandy today, and there comes a breakdown in a critical equipment. Your reserve can allow you to replace that broken down equipment, or the bank will be more than willing to provide that to you. I tell persons, if you have already saved your money and you have a vibrant business, I wouldn't strongly encourage you to take the money and go and replace the equipment. Come, let's discuss a nice cash secured loan, give you a very low, attractive interest rate, and you use that savings there as an incentive to you, a motivation that once I finish pay that loan, that 50,000 that I, to use a local term, guaye, to accumulate, it is there for me at the end. So, business savings account, the sky is the limit. The business account also allows you, and I said it before, to separate your personal and business transaction. But sometimes you cannot help it. You might be there in your small business and a truck pass with dashing or passion fruit. You want to purchase, we're not going to tell you to deprive yourself, but you take a note of it, because that was a non-business expense that you have to reconcile with your accountant. Your business account will also allow you to make accessing financing very easy. You have your financial statements or your business statements that you can bring to an accountant. They can quickly put together a compilation for you, so you can pay your taxes, the right taxes, visit the bank with your audited accounts and whatnot. If you're not doing that, then you can really restrict yourself in terms of drawing down on funds, because we would need a basis to assess you. And if there is no paper trail, then it's not that you are not making the money, you know, but we need to satisfy our approvers that yes, here's the basis, here's the customer, here's everything that they have provided. We also offer more banking, and I think every business should have more banking. If you don't have it today, that is the last day for not having the more banking product. Every business. It makes payments so easy and seamless. You understand? Very, very easy and convenient. Persons can just pay you online. While they're doing other activities, the money is coming on your account and you seeing it coming in. And before you book, you watch your account and you verify. So that is where the world is moving, digital economy, and NBD is not staying out of that equation at all. Your employees, gone are the days where somebody have to ask you for time off to go and change a check in the bank. That to me is a no-no. There are enough online options that your employees can utilize. You as a business utilize the payroll option so you can get value from your employees, because when they go to the bank, there's no telling how many persons they may meet before them. So you could get more value if you sign up for the various payroll options, making banking very easy. Your account will also allow you to plan in the rental and accommodation. You know, there's the high season, the low season. So you can also use your account to schedule your recurring payments. And as I said, you even things like bill payment, there should be nobody at Dawasco Domblek today. You should give no employee no time to go and pay no utility bill. This can be facilitated online. Another important feature of having an account, ladies and gentlemen, is the risk involved. And person spoke about the small commission, whereas you will pay the bank about 2.75% for facilitating your card swiping and whatnot. It is a lot more costly if somebody break and open your place and take the whole bolo and go with it. You will find 2.75 several times. So for your own comfort, it is in the bank already, and my colleague will articulate further as to why, if you do not have a point of sale machine, you meet the necessary criteria and you should sign up for that as well. And of course, you have 24/7. 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up, you want to check your balance, that is available. We're not shutting down. The access to your account is there 24/7. So, some key features: account management, you view your balances, you transfer funds, you monitor transactions, you have the payroll option, supplier payments, and some payments that you are making frequently. You don't even have to waste time and do it every time you need to do it. You know you have your phone bill to pay or your water bill to pay. You schedule the payments. Every 10th of the month, 150 plus the levy must go to the Dawasco. And you organize that way. And you just track. You just track the payments. In the event that they probably call you to tell you, hey, we have not received the payment, you immediately call the bank and find out, okay, for November, Dawasco is saying that they have not received the payment. Can we reconcile that situation? As I said, convenience, time saving, 24/7, secure and easy to use. And I would repeat again all the wonderful benefits with overnight deposit. You drop it off in the chute at any time. If it's a lot of money, then you will probably require a police escort to do that as well. But peace of mind, your money is in the bank. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, there was a concern about a $35 deduction. I believe our new banker, our honorary member of the NBD, answered correctly that there are ways to dock it, or not dock it permanently, but to make it be less hurtful on the pocket. You just allow it to grow, accumulate, and then when you are ready to draw it down, it might work out to be maybe about $1.50 per person if you just allow it to accumulate. And sometimes you can feed those charges into, remember there was a slide that talks to what price you should charge if you want to get so much in your pocket in the end. So that's something I would encourage that you utilize. Put your price you want, and then you will do the system will do the necessary for you. So for those $35 concerns, before the money reaches the Douglas Charles Airport, the fee is already deducted. And this was not something that was happening all the time, but we received notification that this is a charge that before we receive the money, it is going to be deducted. So again, you work your price, you don't do price gouging, but you take certain things, because that is an operational cost. You take certain things into consideration when you're pricing your product. So if there are any questions, yes, I see a lady over there for a question. Because we have part 2 here, we have a very important presentation from my colleague. So, not sure if we should take him. Okay, all right. So, we'll take the questions after. I'm going to allow my colleague Jeffrey to speak on point of sale online e-commerce.
Hello. It wasn't really a question I had, but I noticed you didn't say anything about the interest of the products that you were advertising.
Oh, well, we offer the most attractive interest rate. With regards to the ECPCGC, the rate is just 5.5%. Yes, only. Rates right now, and we have other bankers in the house, it will range between 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on the type of product, the risk involved in the product. But that specific product from the ECPCGC, 5.5. 5.5. Nothing more.
Is there a grace period?
Huh?
Is there a grace period?
Well, yes, in the structuring of the facility, if your business requires a grace period to allow things to unfold, that could be part of the packaging of the facility as well. Well, 6 months would be reasonable, but it may be 6 months just for the payment of interest only. Yes.
All right, good day, everyone. All right, so today I'll be discussing our point of sale procedures and also the merchant services that we offer at NBD. All right, so in 2022, we launched our EMV chip cards at National Bank. Also, on the acquiring side, which is the point of sales, we also did a project where we have to change all the terminals island-wide. So now our terminals are now EMV compliant. All right, chip processing payments, also known as EMV payments, involve the use. All right, one second. All right, chip processing payments, also known as EMV payments, involve the use of embedded microchips in payment cards to securely process transactions. Contactless payments, which is tap transactions, transactions where payments are made by tapping or waving the contactless enabled device, such as a credit card or debit card, smartphone or smartwatch near a payment terminal, which is the Apple Pay. I think they're asking for the mic. 1 second. Yeah.
Hi, sorry, yes. So this is what I was referring to earlier, where this is a very inconvenient process for everybody. When, let's say, somebody comes onto my website to make a booking for my hotel, I've accepted their credit card information probably, right? By the virtue of that, they expect that that card is going to process automatically via a payment gateway. What you're asking me to do now is to take that information, go back into this link, go back into this virtual terminal, put in the information, create a link, then tell the guest, wait for this thing when I send it to you to go back and put back in the information that you already gave to me and assumed that the process was completed. This is where people fall off because it is too much work for both parties.
Okay, so this one is not for bookings done for bookings or Airbnb. So this is direct. So if the customer comes to you via email or direct contact, you can do the payment through them. If it's through booking.com, then booking.com would provide you with the card credentials, the card information, and then you will punch it in manually on the point of sale.
So using that tool, you don't have a point of sale machine, which many of us do. Okay? On the virtual terminal, you cannot purchase research. I can make the link and send it to myself, but you cannot use the virtual terminal because you cannot use the CCD number.
Right. Right.
It's a major problem.
No, so for that's what. So in a case for the booking.com and Airbnb, you will need a physical point of sale machine. Right. So you can actually send additional terminal form as a current merchant, and we can provide you for one. No, we're not charging. No. That's for the transaction. No, it's commission. It's it's.
We'd like to have your customer. Can we offer you a point of sale machine that we have not had availability of in the past 5 years? Would you like to have one now, please, Mr. Amo? And I'll say, oh, please bring it on and we'll give you a
So Mr. Amo, question. So you currently only have the virtual terminal?
Precisely, because I've not been able to get one. And I have seen it 3 times already since it went out of one. And to be honest with you, I think this is for real. And I can use it since then.
The point of sale? All right. Okay, so. Yeah. So, but basically, the virtual terminal is for direct contact with a customer. For booking.com, as I mentioned, they will provide you with the card information, and then you could process the transaction manually on the point of sale. So in that case, it would only charge 2.75% for the transaction. So in case of the wire fee, that will basically help you out. Also, our next solution, we have e-commerce. So e-commerce, if you as a merchant have a own website for your business, you can apply for e-commerce. So we have integration methods which is API and Host Connect, so you can get a web developer and he can set it up for you. So we actually have a full guide on how to process the e-commerce on your website. So any of you guys have e-commerce? Yeah, question? Right.
No, here's the problem. The virtual terminal only accept Visa and MasterCard. Now, all of you they have Discover, they have Capital One, they have and because of that causing a limit on my bookings. Because as she said, and she rightly said, and she's on point, that's our point of balance.
Yes.
She said that when you put all you have to do is make it compulsory. When you book, they must put in their card information.
Right.
Somebody might not have because that's all I have. That's something that's
Well,
My question is, do you have some kind of a plan in place to add additional cards to your virtual terminal? And number two, I still want a physical machine, please.
yes, we'll give you that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get you.
You should be, the bank, if they're into real business,
Mm-hmm.
should have gotten a list of all of the business operators and work from there.
Yes.
You know, help us.
Right.
Join hands with us.
Yes.
We are just left out there on our own.
I get you.
He said 800
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can make it more accessible that you go to the customer? For example, I have some restaurant owners
Mm-hmm.
in Scotland. We made an appointment, but at the time you call for the appointment, you're not a guest. You cannot be there because you come for the appointment. Why can't we go to the customers
Okay, so what happened is, right?
and partner with the as she suggested, so you can meet most of the customers and give them a turnaround time when they expect to get a point of solution?
Mhm.
Losing a lot of business.
I understand. Okay, let me just go to that page for you guys. All right. So, what we think we just get a point of sale machine, right? However, as a bank, we have rules and regulations we have to abide by Visa and MasterCard. So, one of the requirements, right? The business must be registered on the business name. So, most cases, like in your case, the customer might not have a checking account with us. So that's why I think they might maybe ask them to do an appointment to come in to open a checking account. So that's it. But usually, as the merchant officers, I have a few with me. When we go out, we usually meet potential merchants and we advise them to open accounts. So like for the vendors on Bayfront, we actually did that. Okay, I think in your case, sometimes with the business now, okay. So if you register a point of sale machine, right? The checking account must be registered on the business name. It doesn't matter if you have a checking account, let's say, for a next business and you want a machine for lodging, and that business, let's say, is maybe a restaurant. You will not be able to get that machine. Oh. Okay, so in your registration documents, there's an area that says business activity. So when you apply for a point of sale, I understand, but we have rules and policies we have to abide by. So that's why we recommend that you go to re-register the business and put that as the activity. So we must abide by those rules, or else Visa can actually take the machine from us. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the virtual terminal is basically we create credentials for you. So it's not a physical point of sale machine. So you can actually log in on your phone, tablet, computer, and you can do a payment through that portal. Then it will create a link, and you could send a link to the customer.
So it's something like PayPal? No?
Not like PayPal, but it's like a secure payment gateway, basically.
So you can integrate it to your website?
No, so that's e-commerce. The virtual terminal is we actually give you the credentials to our merchant portal. So when you process the payment, it will give you a URL link, and you could send that to the customer to enter their card information. So that way it's a secure payment.
So what is the difference between the two?
Okay, e-commerce is actually getting payments directly through your website. So you have a website, we give you integration, and you can process payments directly through the website. The virtual terminal is logging on to our merchant portal. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. The virtual terminal, it applies also as a point of sale. So it will be 1% on NBD debit cards and 2.75% on other bank cards. However, with the e-commerce ranges from 4% to 6%. So it's based on the business activity. So like for lodging, the rate will be 4%. per transaction. All right, yes. No, 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 it's just 4% for e-commerce. Okay, so we had cases where merchants will register, let's say for rental, right? And they want to add, they apply for a machine for, let's say for a supermarket. They could go to the ministry and actually add that activity to their registration. Yes. No, not to us, no. Registration documents. Mm-hmm. Yes. No, as I said, the virtual terminal doesn't operate on a website. It's basically us creating credentials for you on our merchant portal. So it's two different. No, you can't do it. No.
Because I can create a product on my virtual terminal. So if I want to sell a room, I can make the price. If I want to sell a piece of art, I can make the price, and then I can send someone that link. Or I can also embed it onto a flyer or onto my website, which is a picture of the art, and send it like that, and pay 2.75%.
Send them the link that. So send them the link directly, right?
No, I can press on the image of the page they want to buy. Okay, you decide on that page. Here is the page, right? Just tap on it and it comes up with the link, access to the virtual link from my virtual terminal.
You did that already?
I've done it already a number of times.
Oh, that's the first time I'm hearing that one. First, yeah, first time I'm hearing that one. Yes. Share the question. You can give a mic, please? I'm not hearing. Okay. Yeah, so we're currently working for American Express. So hopefully by end of April, we should be accepting American Express on our point of sale machines. Yes. So Discover, that is management, so I'll bring that out to them. But American Express, it will be Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Yes. You have a next question? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the e-commerce. Remember, we have to pay Visa and MasterCard. So we're basically paying the fees. Mm-hmm. No, they're only paying 2.75 on the virtual terminal. The e-commerce is completely different. Yes. No, you as the merchant send the link to the customer. So basically, you are the one creating the payment. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you're saying. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, that is still working on management, so I'm not sure as yet. We actually have a team working on that. So when we process it, we'll actually advise the merchants. Yeah. All right, so we're just going to go through the requirements, so at least you guys will have an understanding. All right, so first, the business must be registered. The account, there must be a checking account. The merchant will then complete the applications and the agreement forms. Functional communication medium at place of business. Compatible power sockets. The bank provides guides as well as technical assistance for the use of this service. So when we come to the site, our team will give you guys training. There is no annual fee or service charge. Commissions of 1% is charged on MBD debit cards. Debit card transactions and a commission of 2.75% is charged on all other bank cards. E-commerce merchants, commission is within 4 to 6%. Merchants should have an email address. Card proceeds are credited to your current account on the following working day. So how it operates, you do a transaction on the point of sale machine, the funding will come to your account the next business day. Activity reports are accessed through our bank's online merchant portal. So at NBD, we have a merchant portal where you can actually log in and see all your merchant activities. So all your business activity, you can view it there.
So if somebody cancels, like they stay by you, I think whatever you call it, and they cancel the next day, what happens to them? You're taking 24 hours to process my money. That is law.
No, because what happens is it processes through a processor. The next business day, we get the file for posting. So if someone stays by you for one night,
Yes.
and they leave the next day,
And then the next day,
but
you
you,
take the next day.
but remember you did the payment, so the funds are secured.
So they ask,
You understand? Right. Because we have cases where, as I say, for merchants, that's my job. I hear concerns from our merchants. Cases where they book rooms and the customer doesn't show up. And so you book a room and you basically waiting for that person to show up to your room. And they never show up. So basically you lose funds, right? So that's why we recommend the virtual terminal so you'll be able to get the deposit. So at least you have a deposit. And as she mentioned, cancellation policies are very required in this system. Because customers can, if you have a cancellation policy on Airbnb or Booking.com, right. But you have cases where customers will come to Dominica, use your services, go back to the country and say they were never there. So that's why we recommend that you have cancellation policies, and with Booking.com, you have all the information there. So in case of a chargeback or dispute, we can provide that to Visa or MasterCard. Okay, credentials and log instructions will be provided after installation of the PS device. So that's for the merchant portal. Okay, so we're going to go to the benefits of having merchant services at your business. So basically, it increases the sales volumes, hence overall profits. So imagine a customer coming to your business institution and you don't have a point of sale machine, and all they have is cards. Most foreigners travel with cards and less cash. So that's a way you can basically build customer satisfaction and also gain sales. Increase in overall customer base. With that case, you can basically gain new customers by having a point of sale machine. Exposure to new customers, both domestic and international. Provision of an additional service to customers, and increase in competitive edge over other businesses that do not provide this service. Paper trail and document of payments, and mitigates risk of loss via cash theft or robbery. So the same way, if in cases of robbery, your funds are on your account. So less cash you have at your business is better for you. All right, so that's all for me. Any more questions? You can go if you. Can get a mic?
What is the average time of the time to open an account, a business account, at your bank?
Okay, now ready. Open the business account. So you answer the business account.
The average time is dependent on you. Once you have everything, you get your appointment, you sign up, within 2 days you should be able to have your account. Once everything is in place. Not peace now, peace tomorrow. Everything, within 24 to 48 hours, you could have your account.
That's my question.
Saturn. Unblock that.
Yes.
With regards to the ECPC, GC loan, the strikes and
Okay, it's a combination of both.
Combination as in total or combination as in each? So if you need 25% equity, you need 25% equity and 25% security?
Yes.
Okay,
And the equity don't have to be cash. It could be the investments in the project so far. So you have come to the bank to set up maybe a prawn farm or whatever it is, and you have already invested so much, that's your equity contribution. We're not asking you to bring in a new equity at that point. The equity is already there into the project.
right, but that's still a lot. Because if you think about it, your total startup cost, your total cost is $1 million, right? You lend up to 750, 25% equity is already 250,000, and now we still have to provide another 250,000 in equity. That's a lot of money.
Well,
In security.
yeah. TP6. No, no, no.
Okay, and then my second question is
Yes.
regarding mobile banking transactions. One of the problems that the vendors are having with regards to mobile banking is when they get the alert that somebody has made a payment, it doesn't tell them who made that payment.
Okay.
So what's exactly?
So what we encourage, some persons can get sophisticated. So when a person is setting up to pay you your payment for your accommodation, in the reference area, they simply put John Doe. Some persons put payment, and you wonder payment from who? Payment from which person? Who is this payment coming from? So you simplify that, you encourage the persons who are going to pay you via mobile banking, Narren Murphy. So when you receive that alert, you clearly see Narren Murphy, that is the person who have paid for 2 nights at your resort.
I hear that. However, 90% of the time, it does not happen. So on your end, as the service provider, what is your plan to fix it?
Well, our plan is to continue with the communication and education. Even when persons, yes, because we cannot get too involved in terms of the components you put when you're setting up the mobile banking. That is a personal choice. So when you're setting up mobile banking, if I decide, although the bank has said to me in the reference area, I must put my name, and I decide I just want to put 2 nights, or husband and wife, that is not something the bank is going to have a control over. What will happen? When you call the bank, we then have to go to the back end to find out, okay, who is this person making this payment, husband and wife, or honeymoon? Then we can tell you exactly who it is. So even when you're giving persons that option, the bank has its responsibility to let persons know when you're setting up, this is what you have to do. For persons doing, if you just give me a second, for persons doing the peer-to-peer payment, you must put a reference name. If you're doing the mobile merchant, like you are you're a merchant under our mobile banking, it's a bit easier that you click, is that the name on the account, on the invoice, and it will automatically reflect the person's name. But some persons, some businesses like to take a shortcut, and they don't go through the business merchant option where you will sign up as a merchant with NBD. You do like how we would do peer-to-peer, personal account transfers. That is where at times the problem is created and the confusion.
And unless the person puts their name on the memo line, we don't know who sends it, but you as NBD knows whose account that money is coming from.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question. In terms of relaying your mobile banking details, Do you provide an ID? Do you provide an ID and an account number? You don't? So when they go on merchant, they select your name, but so at that point there, the only thing they have to do is to click, this is the name on the invoice, which is... Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So, Madam, we will note the concern and the recommendation, and we will advise the necessary department accordingly. But I get the point that you're making.
Sorry, I don't have a question for you, I have a comment. For the smaller businesses who are excited about American Express, please don't get excited about American Express. Please note that American Express will charge you between 3.5 to 4% commission. American Express never takes your side. They will always take the guest side. So if a guest charges back, it's the hardest charge back to win on the face of the earth. They don't fight for you, they fight for the guests. So American Express is not the friend of a small business. If you're a big business and you have luxury clients who use those types of cards, perfect for you. On American Express as well, if you have to do a refund, for any reason, you have to pay to do that refund. It's not like you go into the machine for the other cards and you issue a refund and it goes through. It's a manual process. Their bank contacts your bank and says, this person has a refund. You then have to wire transfer that refund money back to American Express. So don't get in bed with American Express unless you have to. All right.
So, all right, so for the other questions that you may have, you simply email those to businessbanking@nbd.dm and we'll be more than happy to provide the responses to those. Okay?
I think I have a question for Rio, because I think it's important for a lot of us that have a business that may be also providing meals, providing tours, providing massage activities. When you ask someone to pay you, you provide it just so we can make your ID and your company. You give them a reference that they should put in to the line of a bill so that you can see. And I have never had somebody not do it. I have never had somebody not do it because they don't feel that maybe they're funding it not. So stress that has to be done because it's very important that we do this as a small business. It's that you can't track your income, then you can't plan your business to know how you're making your money. I just wanted to comment on that before you report.
Any other? Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So as I said, for any other concern, businessbanking@nbd.dm, customer support@nbd.dm, and we'll be more than happy to provide the answers that you need. Enjoy the balance of your session. We unfortunately have to leave at this juncture. All right.
Thank you so much, NBD, for those critical pieces of information. And he has provided his direct contact, so of course feel free to reach out to him and take note of any particular concerns. Next up, we have Mrs. Nicole Faustin from the Aid Bank to provide you with information on opportunities at that institution. But the only thing is that you don't have somebody who has to hold your mic with you. You want to hold your mic and your... Yes, I can do that. Sorry, this is the mic.
Pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to be proceed. So we can feel it, right? Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Nicole Faustin. I'm this protocol has been established. I'm from the Aid Bank, and this is your bank. Aid Bank is your bank. We have been in existence for the past 53 years. And so you understand why I say it's your bank, right? Yes, it is your bank. It is our bank together. So we grow the economy. I'm just waiting for my slide. Give me 1 second. Okay, so while we sort out the technical difficulties, so a little about who we are at the Aid Bank. We are the only development bank. And our partners, our shareholders, we have 90%, we are 90% owned by the government of Dominica, and the balance of 10% is owned by the Social Security. So you understand when we say we are your bank, we are your bank. So we stimulate, assist the governments of Dominica to stimulate economic activity, and one of our primary industries is the tourism industry. So we have seen for the past few, well, post-COVID, significant improvement in tourist arrival, and we just had Carnival. How much arrivals we had? 34%. You imagine what 34% is? And the minister said we were looking for rooms, right? We should not be looking for rooms. So that is why we are here to assist you to develop your products. And we customize products to suit you. We only give loans though. We are not like NBD that give point of sales. We only give the financing to assist you. And not sure why we have technical difficulty. Give me one moment. Apologies. Okay. So we give loans in all sectors in the economy, including agriculture, industry, manufacturing, tourism, housing, student loans, name it, we give all loans. We currently have special products customized just for you. At the Aid Bank, we have an MSME facility that we give on lend loans up to 670,000 at 3.5%. Can that be beat? No. And you know what? You pay nothing for 6 months. You pay nothing for 6 months, not interest, not principal. Can that be beat? No. And to top it up, we give you some assistance, technical assistance. We source the support you need in marketing, in pricing. You did such a fantastic job. You made my job so much easier. We give the support you need, the technical support to get you. We spoke about all this. To get you to improve your ambience. Everybody wants to improve that's what attracts us, right? All of us want to get to a point where we can attract. And that is one of the main things. What people see is what they buy. So we want you to improve what you sell. Visibility is what sells. And we have the finances at very concessionary rates, and it cannot be beat. And I can tell you, apart from improving your ambience, we assist you with also upgrading. You can construct, you can expand. What else? You can change your linen and then have the soft pillows. And your pool, you can put in a pool or a pond, anything you need to make your products attractive. What sells? what we see, right? If I come to you, a facility, and as I see, oh my God, a garbage thing, I am appalled, right? We want to create ambience. You want to create attractiveness. And the funds are available to you to do just that. So we appeal to you. The funding is available. Please access it. And we have made it so convenient, so flexible. What we said? What rate? 3.5. What else? 675. And what else? I should have a gift. And if for the tourism industry, as I said, we could upgrade, construct, it assists in other ancillary services. You want to add a vehicle to your product? Wouldn't that be convenient? That you have your Airbnb and your guest doesn't have to rent something? Any buyers? I tell you, that would be something that said, if you go to somewhere and the owner has, for convenience, you have this additional service, and that is what sells. Making your guest comfortable, making it convenient, and also making the guest feel a home away from home. And this is what we need. It doesn't take much. You include what? Nature. We are full of nature, right? We can do so much by spending so little to make it attractive. And we have seen, based on the financing, that people have gotten increased exposure, increased revenue, just by doing those little upgrades. You change your linen. What we want? White. That is the basics. White. We want to make the place. You want to have a study desk. You upgrade it by doing those little things to make your place attractive. And what will happen? Money, money, money. So we are here for you. We are here to guide you. We are here to provide the information. Please do not say that you do not know or you do not have the information. And here's the criteria. You must be a citizen of the Commonwealth of Dominica, or you have been residing here for the past 10 years. Your sales is 2 million or less. Well, you have to be registered with Inland Revenue and Social Security, and that is for your own benefit. However, we cannot give money for refinancing. I know I'm not going to get a hard time, but we cannot give you money to pay another bank. We want you to put the money into the business. We want you to upgrade the facility. We want you to see something new when we come, like what with the video I just showed, right? So we want you to have something, to do something to your facility to improve the services that you offer. In addition to that, based on, if you are starting off, you may need an operational plan, but not necessarily a business plan. So it's just something to guide you with your pricing, with your market. Are you marketing with Airbnb or Bookings.com? And you've heard of all the technical issues that can arise. So you need to know what it is that you're facing. You need to know your fees. So these are what will guide you and to assist you to reduce those costs and allow you to have more money in your hand, right? So it is something that will guide you. Don't shy away from it because you need to know, right? Won't you need to know that how much money you would make? Nobody wants to know? I am sure. So we all need to know, so you need to have your operational plan and keep your records on track. We also have facilities for the tourism industry for the seasonal loans. For those that are in the cruise, taxi, what else? We have jazz coming up. I know some people in the Portsmouth area are going to be booming, right? So if you want to change your your furnishing, you put new stoves, the funds are there for you to do that. So these funds, ideally for the tourism industry, it would assist you to upgrade. You may have some repairs to the urgent repairs. So this would be able to assist you to finance this cost. In addition to that, so these loans are for small repairs. Nothing big, something you have to do quickly. These loans can be approved in a matter of a day or two, so you get these loans quite quickly. We also have pre-app a day or two. Yes. We also have the SNAP facility, as we say, quick money, a day or two as well, where you have some urgent needs, some fast, something that has to be done now for now. You can also have access to these funds. Pre-approved loans for facilities. So if you're an existing client, you have had a good repayment record, we give you up to 20,000 now for now, well, within a day or two, right? Okay, so the requirements for the loan facility, the process is not as a commercial loan. For the small businesses, we ask you, as we streamline the process as much as possible. We would need information on your business, obviously your registration, your KYC information, like proof of address, IDs, financial information for those who have. We know the challenge. We are a development bank, so we work with you. We work with you to tailor. We say, okay, you do not have, but we discuss with you and we look at your bank account and we tailor something to you. So we assist you through the project. We work with you to make it happen. And please do not just stand by and say, I don't want to come now. You will lose out. Because the rate is just at 3.5. You paid nothing for 6 months. Okay, so we have tailored it as much as possible to assist you to get going as fast as possible. Yes? Any questions so far? No? Yes? Okay.
So my question is with regards to the short-term loans that you provide during the season. Are those loans also available to like restaurants, say like during Creole Festival, they need to stock up on supplies?
Carnival, Creole Festival, all seasons, name it, you got it. Yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm wondering, does that include, for example, we're talking about vacation rentals and so forth.
Right. And
for example, what if I want to add maybe as she was suggesting, add in another room or something like that, or that not included in that package you're offering?
But of course, we said what? We said what? Expand?
Okay, well, here's my follow-up question to that.
Yes.
Because I'm not telling you what I haven't tried. I've tried, and I was not successful with your bank.
Oh, you have?
No, I presented everything you said there, but the only thing that threw off the whole loan process was they tell me I have to get somebody to sign, even because they refused to consider the fact that I have a job. They didn't look at none of my documents.
How long ago that was?
That was last year, and the previous year I tried twice. No, all they told me is that because I have a mortgage with MBD or First Caribbean at the time, but now it's NBD.
Right.
They didn't consider the fact that I have a job. They didn't look at my salary slip to see that I could pay what I was asking for. They did not consider that they just tell me I need somebody to sign, and that was it. They shut me down.
Okay, so we can talk after. No, we can talk after that.
No, listen to that. That was after I spent all my money to get quotes from.
I can see your passion.
Yeah. Yes. No, okay. So that is my concern. Now here's the question: is it possible to know that NBD is part of is part of
Thank you.
Well, what am I? Sorry.
The EC.
What I'm about to ask is that is it possible that Aid Bank can work with NBD? Like, let's say if I have a mortgage with NBD and I have a ton of equity in my property, is it possible? I'm just asking. I am not asking to make blood out of stone, but
Right.
is it possible to work with the equity I have in my property? And seeing that is two similar government kind of interests at there. I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
Is that possible?
We have done it in the past, but that is subject to approval.
All right.
That's
no problem.
subject to approval.
Because the other option is, I really like the package you attracted. You offer, and it's much more attractive than what National Bank is offering. But here's the problem: when you already have your mortgage with National Bank, and you said
I
and that's the
understand.
other thing I don't understand. If all you don't want to do refinancing and so forth.
Okay.
Because
But we can do refinancing under some other facilities. We can refinance your mortgage under some other facilities. Maybe at the time you came, there may have been restriction in funding, but we can do that now.
you can do that now.
Yes, we can.
Because as
And
I
at
said,
very attractive rates as
remember,
well.
I've come to
Yes,
twice
so
already.
you know
eh?
what? I will talk to you after so that I can get the details from you and
Thank
give
you
you
very
a call
much.
so we can sit down and talk, yes?
Okay, no problem.
Excellent, excellent. Any other questions? Okay. Right. 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 So it's your bank, right? And yes. Social Security is ours. The government of Dominica is ours. We won't say.
Not the Social Security,
Mhm.
the government,
Mhm.
CBI. And CBI is our passport money. How can you all organize for us to get free money to do free business from the same free bank?
All right. Okay, let me.
The government is us.
It's our bank. It's our bank. And we have been existing for how many years? 53 years. And you want us to continue for another 53 years, right? Okay, but remember, it's not Aid Bank's money, eh? It is, so it's something that we would have, but we have had funding for the CBI before. From 2015, the government of Dominica loaned the Aid Bank from the CBI funding. So we have had funding from that source, and it was at 2% at that time. So you just missed that. And so you can imagine at 2%. But remember.
I know when the bank was formed,
Okay.
opening ceremony,
Okay, all right. All right, excellent. That's it. All right. Okay, so, all right, so I appreciate your comment. So the bank is here for you to assist you to grow. So we encourage you to invest in yourself. Invest in your products, invest in the opportunities that we have. We have the international airport that's coming on stream in a few years, and we expect that there will be an upsurge. We talk about increase, but there will be an upsurge in tourism arrivals, and we have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare ourselves, because you know what? You don't want the international market to come in to do it for you. Because when they come, they will do it. So you want to start and prepare yourself now for these opportunities. And I encourage you to make use of this opportunity that you have to grow your business, to make your business attractive, and to ensure that you have a source of revenue, because the market is there, and we will see increased markets. And I really encourage you, if I cannot say, don't take anything else from me, I want you to say, prepare yourself for these opportunities that will come, and you can have a tree house. People will come and stay in it, right? Excellent. So I appreciate your attention. Yes? Sorry? Uh-huh.
90% government and 10% social security. I would like to recommend and to make a recommendation on all our business people that they give us 1% tax, interest on the loans that we take from the bank from the CBI money, because it's our passport money and it's our 90% government money.
To develop ourselves. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Or my name is Nicole Faustin, and I can give you my contact details afterwards. Okay. All right. Okay, I appreciate your attention and thank you very much for engaging me.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Faustin. I believe you have some tokens for the participants as well. So she will be sharing some tokens from the Aid Bank for participants. Thank you very much. Going right along, we invite Mr. Michael Walter. We invite Mr. Michael Walter. He's the Business Development Officer at the Small Business Support Unit at the Ministry of Labor.
Good afternoon, one and all. I must say that I am very, very pleased to be at this discussion. It really enlightened me. You understand? I know a few things about the tourism sector, but after listening to the presentation from my dear friend, you understand, it really inspired me, it really enlightened me, and I want to thank UPS for the opportunity. Now, after you have secured your loans from NBD and Aid Bank, the next thing to do is to be able to get the necessary fiscal incentives to support the growth of your business. So quickly, I am a business development officer within the Small Business Support Unit. We provide financial and technical assistance to small businesses, to MSMEs. We also facilitate with respect to fiscal incentives, which I'll be speaking about today, and also support economic growth and business stability through the development of policy that will support the MSME sector and other things aligned with this. Next. Okay, so quickly, the vacation rentals, Airbnb, operate within many of the economies, but largely it operates within the blue economy and the sharing economy. The reason why I say blue economy is because of the fact that we have, the reason why I say blue economy is because of the fact that a lot, if not, well, not all, but a lot of visitors to the island come to enjoy marine life and the pools, the rivers, the adventure, and all those things of that sort. All right, so hence the reason for the blue economy and the sharing economy. They utilize the digital platforms where you engage in peer-to-peer transactions, hence the sharing economy. Definition for fiscal incentives, because some persons may still be in here, I'm wondering what is fiscal incentives. Fiscal incentives, they are tax breaks, exemptions, or financial benefits provided by governments to encourage investment, business growth, or specific economic activities. Now, there are a lot of fiscal incentives that government provides, but I'm here to speak about specifically one, which resides within the small business support unit. All right, so I just want to make that clear. Let's move ahead, next. Okay, so when we speak about the benefits of fiscal incentives, we have lower startup or renovation costs. So the owners save on import duties on things like appliances, equipment, supplies for their rental businesses, improves property quality. We're speaking about access to high quality duty-free equipment or appliances or things of that sort, while making their accommodations more attractive. It encourages sustainable development, concessions on eco-friendly appliances. All right, because some of you all may have eco-friendly appliances within your establishment. So it encourages this because you get the duty-free concessions on those things. It boosts local tourism, well-equipped rentals, and enhance guest experiences, leading to positive reviews and repeat visits. Then it also supports economic growth because your business doesn't operate in a world of its own. There are other businesses which operate within that same space. So for example, you have the taxi operators, you have the shop owners, you have the restaurants. So with your business, you bringing in those clients, those other businesses benefit from it. All right. So those are some of the benefits where fiscal incentives are concerned. Now, in terms of the eligibility criteria, you must be a registered business in Dominica. You must be registered in Dominica. You must have an annual revenue of less than $250,000. How many of you are over $250,000 here? Okay, all right. Well, if you are over, then it means that you cannot benefit under that program. Okay? So you'd have to be below for you to benefit under it. And then now you must possess the relevant required certifications to operate in Dominica. So for example, if you may correct me, Ms. O'Dale, NICE is one of the certifications that they must have to operate. So for example, when you are applying for the fiscal incentives, one of the documents that I expect to see as part of the documentation is your NICE certification. Okay? In terms of the required documentation, you would need 2 forms of valid ID. The reason why we're asking for 2 forms, because we have seen situations where persons have different IDs, but then you would see Jane Brown on that ID, and then you would see Jane James Brown on another ID. All right? Now, that can be 2 different people. Okay, so hence the reason why we're asking for 2 forms of ID so that we can verify. Business certification document, I spoke about that. Your registration, your certificate of registration, the statement of particulars, your tax certificate, and also the NICE certification. Sectoral permits or license, that would refer to the NICE certification. A business plan, business records for the past 6 to 12 months. All right, if you don't have, if you cannot provide us with 12 months, we can accept 6 months. All right, in the event that you are a new business, then you would have to provide us with projected financials. And also compliance with the Dominica Social Security. This is critically important, and as my colleague mentioned a little bit earlier on, that is for your own good. The application process. So you obtain and complete the fiscal incentives form. Then you provide the required documents, which I mentioned earlier, to the Small Business Support Unit. You submit that application for review and processing, and you await approval and notification of grant incentives. Now, I want to mention something that is critically important. What we have been experiencing for some time now is that persons would import appliances and the likes into Dominica, and when it arrives on the port, that is when they come to apply for the fiscal incentives. And then now, there is that pressure that is applied to the Small Business Support Unit because they don't want to pay storage fees at the port. Hence the reason why we are again and again encouraging persons that if you are going to order necessaries for your business, you need to apply for the fiscal incentives prior to that. Excuse? Well, it's based on the shipping. Now, normally, the fiscal incentives, the processing, the ideal time for processing is about 3 weeks. Okay? So if you apply for your fiscal incentives, you should get it within 3 weeks. Okay? The reason why I say 3 weeks, because the fiscal incentives doesn't only, processing of the fiscal incentive doesn't lie solely within the Small Business Support Unit or the Ministry of Labor. All right, there are other ministries that are involved, you understand, and hence I cannot put on a time frame for the other ministries, sorry. All right, so hence a 3-week window is the ideal time. Note, it is just a 3 weeks window. It doesn't mean that you cannot get it within 1 week. Okay? Compliance and responsibility. Maintain proper financial records, because the thing is that the fiscal incentive is for a duration. Unlike the other incentives, it is a one-time. So, for example, if you're going to import a vehicle into Dominica, you'll get a one-time incentive. So you wouldn't get an incentive, a duty-free, for example, the duty-free concession, for you to import vehicles for 2 months or 3 months. You wouldn't get that. With our incentives that we have, we provide it for a duration. So, for example, it could be 6 months, it could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. Okay? Now, within that period of time, you can now order the necessaries for your business, and they will be subject to duty-free concession. Are you all with me? Okay, great. Lovely. Hence the reason why I'm saying to maintain proper records, because when you now come to renew your fiscal incentives license, one of the things that we will be asking for is an audited statement. All right? Or something similar in nature to an audited statement. So hence you need to keep your records. So you need to also use the duty-free items only for the approved business. All right, so if you apply for the duty-free on items for X business, you utilize it for X business. You cannot decide that you're going to utilize it for something else, because when review is done, you need to be able to account for it, because it is a concession given to you by the government for that particular purpose. Adhere to sector-related regulations and certification. If you note, that's maybe the third time that is within this presentation, and it's because of the fact that we're trying to enforce that. Okay. Now, there is a small business, and as in the case of my dear friend there, I didn't get permission to speak about the person's business, so I cannot mention the name, but I will just speak in general. Now, she applied for the fiscal incentives, and she received it, and after the first year of her operations with the fiscal incentives, she was able to employ an additional staff because of the profit or the savings, sorry, she was able to experience as a result of the fiscal incentives. All right, so hence, these fiscal incentives can truly benefit your business. All right, and a word of advice is that when you receive those benefits from the fiscal incentives, don't use it to buy luxury items for you to put on you, or for you to show in public. You understand? Utilize those monies to reinvest in your business. So if it means that you needed to expand on something, utilize that money that you saved to expand on your business. Okay? Now, this is just the application form. So if you could just scroll through it quickly. You can go, or you should be able to scroll, yes. So, go back on the other one. It should be able to scroll up though. It was working for me. Anyways, this is just basic information. So the front page is just basic information with respect to the business. Now, this form is not specifically for vacation rentals or for Airbnbs. It is a generalized form. So there are sections on the form, like if you go to the next page, it will speak about products and services, annual quality. It will speak about whether your products are for the domestic or the regional market. Some of those things pertain to agro-processors and manufacturers. Hence, you don't need to complete those parts of the form, but you complete every other part of the form that is relevant to your business. Okay. Next one. Okay. Yeah, so this is just the last page with your name, your signature, and date. So it's a very, very simple form. And we at the Small Business Support Unit, we provide all the necessary technical assistance to help you to complete the form, and then we guide you through the process. Now, with respect to submission, the submission has different phases. You submit the application form. Once you submit the application form, it is processed from our end and sent to the Ministry of Finance for approval. That is the application. Okay? Now, once the approval is received from the Ministry of Finance, we then engage you to be able to develop and provide us with the master list. Now, the master list is what contains all the things that you plan to import into Dominica, all right, to benefit your business. Once this document is completed and it is provided to us, we now process and send it back to the Ministry of Finance for approval. And then once we receive the master list, we now provide you with the license and a copy of the master list, all right, which you now take to the customs and you receive the concessions. Now, my explanation may sound like it's a little bit hectic, but in fact and in truth, it's not. But I just wanted to explain it to you so that you get the gist as to all what is involved in terms of processing the fiscal incentives concessions license. Okay? So here is our contact information. You can take a picture of it, or I can provide you with that information one-on-one after the session. Okay? Because of the fact that we are... I don't have with me. But because of the fact that we are pressed for time right now, I won't be taking any questions, but however, I can meet with you after for a short period to answer any questions that you may have. Okay? So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Walter. And as he mentioned, an important aspect of this consultation is an opportunity for you all to give recommendations as to other matters that we want to consider, other terms and conditions that we want to consider for fiscal incentives, specifically for vacation rentals. You would have heard us mention a few times about NICE, Nature Island Standards of Excellence. And I wanted Odile John Baptist, who's the Quality Assurance and Product Development Manager, to just give us a little bit more information on the certification program. And again, when we go into that open discussion, we would want to hear from you as to some of the recommendations that could go into a specific policy for vacation rentals as it relates to fiscal incentives as well as the certification program. So please, Odile, thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so quickly, as we're pressed for time, I will just go through the process to attain NICE certification as it falls under the Tourism Regulations and Standards Act. Okay, so NICE really stands for the Nature Island Standards of Excellence program. And it is with the legal backing from the Tourism Regulation and Standards Act. NICE applies a set of standards or a suite of standards to any person or business offering a tourism-related service. And of course, this extends to businesses offering lodging services such as bed and breakfasts, guest houses, villas, and cottages. And shortly, we will look at the development of specific standards for vacation rentals, because this has been identified as earlier, this was identified as an important aspect of the accommodation sector, given the developments with the international airport. So we'll be looking at specific standards for vacation rentals. But as exists, the process for NICE certification is the business has to be registered. And so we would need a copy of the business registration. Also, public liability insurance, which covers or which extends to guest injuries on property, okay? And the minimum coverage would be EC $250,000. Also to fire certificate, which demonstrates or highlights that the property has met the requirements of the fire department. Environmental health department certification as well. Most importantly, if you're offering food and beverage services, your establishment has to be certified by environmental health. Okay, and also too, even if you're not offering food and beverage services, they also come in to look at and to test your water to ensure that your water is safe, to ensure that your property is rodent-free, and so on and so forth. Okay, we also need a disaster management plan, which will speak towards your plan of action in the event of an emergency as it relates to guests. Okay, if we have an incoming or a pending storm, how it is that you're going to evacuate your guests. If you have flood, okay, fire, how it is that you're going to treat with these emergencies. And so once these documents are submitted to us, the quality assurance team then comes in to do the final assessment, which will look at aspects of the property which affects or which impacts the overall guest experience on property. So we look at cleanliness, we'll look at safety and security, also to a certain extent your furnishings, your fittings, furnishings, ensuring that you have pastel colored sheet. And like I said, at present, we have accommodation standards that may not necessarily apply to the vacation rental. So what I am highlighting is the existing ones, okay? So furnishings, meaning that, you have pastel colored sheets, you have 3 sets of towels, you have a bedside table with a lamp, and so on and so forth. Mattress protectors, pillow protectors, numbered doors, and so on. Okay, so in a nutshell, that is the certification process, or the NICE certification process. And in the interest of time, what we will do from the department's point of view, we will send out an email outlining all of this information. We will send you the application form. So if you feel that you are already positioned to attain NICE certification, we will walk you through the process, okay? And also if you have questions, you can reach out to us, the Quality Assurance Department at 225-8221, or you can email us at dlibla@dominica.dm. But we will start off the process and the conversation with an email blast to all participants here today. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Odile. And at this point in time, we